hello, hello, hello. Hi, everybody. So, welcome in, gamers. You finally mined Cyberpunk Desolate. I love that for you. But today, we are going to fuck some bitches. So, okay, the joke that I made to myself and kind of on stream, because last week, our stream ended a little bit earlier than planned because we got followed by it. And apparently the reason for that, I was talking to some of my friends about it, apparently the reason for it is because I had like the autism and bisexual tags, and people will just go and bot people with those tags. So I took them out. I am no longer autistic or bisexual. Wow. No. Because I'm like, I think representation is important, but I also like not getting bot rated. Gonna strike a happy medium there. But I'm excited, right? So my original plan was to fuck Elisif today, and I did some digging because some of our quests are kind of fucked up with amorous adventures. They are a little so basically, okay, here's the deal, right? You know the Vanya playthrough, right? Where we've been trying to become Thane of every hold so we can get all those weapons before we do Civil War shit. To fuck Elisif, to get into the endgame, I have to become Thane of Solitude. And right now, one, we just did that, so I kind of am like, maybe put Elisif on the back burner for now, because we just did that. And two, to be Thane, you also have to own property. I don't know if we have fuck Elisif money right now. I'm gonna be honest, because that house in Solitude was what, like 50K? Genuinely, I don't think we have fuck Elisif money. The embers of your autism and bisexually yet burned. Honestly, yeah, I'm trying my best. It's holding on there by a thread, but it's holding, right? So let's go gamer. Oh, that's for something I'm not supposed to show you. Well, if you're a sub, you've seen it, but anyway. Okay, let me see, and let me make sure, did I turn alert box back on? Let me turn that back on. There we go. That should be good. Okay, and now, turn the BGM off. Turn on the Skyrim. So what we're gonna do instead today, because I was like, I don't know if we want to become Thane of Solitude quite yet, like I said, we just did it, is we are going to try and finally fix the Ysolda's quest. So apparently, one of the ways to fix it is by fast traveling to Riverwood and then back to Whiterun. But there might be a way to just set the quest ID differently to make that work. So I'm hoping. I really want to get with Ysolda, y'all, because she was my first Skyrim girlfriend, okay? She means a lot to me. Also, hold on, let me fix that real quick. Let me, he's so small, high caffeinated Pokemon gamer. Bro is tiny. Maybe not that tall, but let's iron that out. Yeah, there we go. Okay, so do I have sound? Yeah, okay, I do. For some reason, the game was just like really quiet for me. So basically, also, I don't need to become a bard. Okay, well, I don't need to become a bard to fuck Elisif. I thought the route that it was implying was to get information from the one lady, the bard lady, Lizette, I think was her name. I had to become a bard, and then that would lead me to fucking Elisif. But no, that's if I want to fuck Lizette. And don't get me wrong, I want to fuck Lizette. She's cute, right? But I don't want to do it now. I don't feel like becoming a bard. No, it's one of those things where it's like I still feel like we did it too recently, so I'm like, I don't wanna. So we're gonna fast travel to Riverwood, and then we're gonna fast travel to Whiterun, because apparently that might be a way to fix the Ysolda quest. Are you fighting that guy who brainwashes all the women in Riften? That's me. No. Which guy? Do you mean Ericer? Because if yes, then yeah, he's a punk ass bitch, and I hate him. Sound like a country-based singer. I'm coughing. Oh my god, I am so sorry, bestie. I was sick recently too, so I feel you. I had the COVID last week, and then the week before that, I almost had to go to the hospital because my period was so bad. I was losing too much blood, and I couldn't feel my legs. which is not good, and apparently not normal either. But like, I didn't know that. Okay, has our ass not been to Riverwood? Okay, that could genuinely be an issue. So, wow, her ass has not been to Riverwood. Okay, let's go to Helgen and let's figure that out. He's the funniest guy in Amherst Adventures. Just, okay, we need to find him. And he's gonna become my arch nemesis because I'm the one brainwashing all the women, not some other fucker. We need to find him. Although if he's silly enough, maybe I'll let him live. Maybe. We'll have to see. So I think, where is Riverwood? Why is Riverwood not marked on my map? Like, it's fucking Riverwood. Okay, that's weird. Let's actually head to Leveler's Tower. I think that'll be easier. But there's enemies nearby, I guess. So, fuck me. I don't know. But let's take a look and hopefully... We do still have the Mammoth Tusk, right? I didn't get rid of it? Oh, shit. If we fix the quest and then I got rid of the Mammoth Tusk... Okay, good. Talk to the strong blonde woman who hates the Thieves Guild. Ooh, okay. Yeah, we'll need to talk to her, too. I am going to try to seduce every woman. That is my goal. Although, if we're in Whiterun, by the way, we'll need to catch up with Summer Sky, too, and tell her we got Misty, everything's okay, and they can have a wholesome, well, kind of wholesome, reunion. Since the Sex Caliber has been returned. Why does Ysolda want a Mammoth Tusk? Well, you know what? Maybe we're gonna find out. We're gonna find out. We're gonna... Are we good? Is everyone okay? Alrighty then. That's unique. Okay. Are you doing it again? What are you doing? Did you hear that? I didn't see it, but it sounds like she's... What the fuck are you guys doing? Are you gonna explode again? Yeah, just walk away like nothing happened. Okay, are we good? Okay, we're good. We're good? We're good. Okay, welcome home. What the fuck? What are you doing? What the fuck was that? Is this you?
I need someone with a little fire in their blood.
You look plagued. Wait, this is our perfect place for our what?
Ask anything.
For our training session. Oh, yeah. Wasn't she going to train me in something? Okay, let's see.
How can I argue with that?
Yeah, where are you training me in? Ah! Okay. Usually I'm prepared. When I try not to just be like, oh my god, haha. Like, I know it's coming, but that time I didn't know it was coming that time. This is awkward. I'm sorry. I panicked. No more sex. What are you doing? What? Wait, why is there still swallowing noises? I paused the game. Wait, go away. Delete. Delete. Why is she still? What the fuck? No, stop. The button I usually press isn't working. Okay, there it goes. No, it's just progressing. No, how do I leave? I would like to leave. Delete. There we go. Okay, I think we're gone. Okay,
Another one of those?
She just said, what, another one of those? I think she just sucked the soul out of me. Holy shit. Thank you for the clip. Is that command working? Let's find out. It should be, but if it's not, I'm gonna scream. Oh, there we go. Okay, now it should work. Let me do that, and I'll put a little marker there, because you know what? I respect that. I respect clipping that. Yeah, that's... Okay, it should be... Why is it not letting me activate Cloudbot? What the fuck? There it goes. Okay, now that should work. But, what did you do? I received the gluck gluck of my life. That's what I did. Without me. Are they still gonna explode? Because they just started ragdolling themselves across the fucking plains, so I don't know. I don't know what the fuck is happening. We're leaving. We're going to Riverwood. We're trying to fuck Ysolda, but then I got head in an open field, and I'm not complaining. I'm just... Oh, did I never go to the Shrine of Talos? Oh, no wonder we can't fuck Elisif. Okay. We still apparently need to become Thane of Solitude to get to the final thing, but okay, that makes sense. Oh, Zenalia, thank you so much for the chemistry of the 16 PlayStations for a PlayStation 4. I mean, 4, 8, 12, 16. Yeah, I think that works. The math checks out there. The math's there. But thank you so much for the support in your 16 PlayStations. Welcome to the stream. I just got head. Anyway, so we're trying to get to Riverwood because apparently one of the reasons the Ysolda quest may not be working is my ass has not been to Riverwood yet. I don't know how the fuck I forgot to go to Riverwood, but that could be it. And we are still gonna try to fuck Elisif, but that might be, like I said before, fucking Elisif may be far away because we need to be Thane of Solitude, and respectfully, we have 8,000 gold. That house is like 50k. We do not have fucking Elisif money. Like, we are literally too broke to fucking bang. Okay, we are too broke to bang. So we'll get there. I wanted to do a quest and forgot to go to Helgen. Yeah, I'm like, it's one of those things where I'm like disappointed but not surprised at myself. Okay, we should be on the right path. Let me see if I can up my brightness a little bit. That's audio settings. What the fuck am I doing? Okay, I'll have to mess with my EMB later, but that's fine. For now, we'll be immersive. Ooh, and oh yeah, now we're cooking. Look at that immersion. Fuck yeah. That immersion's gonna make me coom. All right, let's keep going. So, yeah, her ass just never went to fucking Riverwood. So we're gonna see if this works, and then we're gonna just fast travel to Whiterun. Wow, Riverwood, so cool, so fun, so sexy. Yay! Although, I think we do have to return the Golden Claw real quick, so we... Wait, what the fuck? What's going on over here? Are we robbing somebody? Oh, damn, get his ass. Okay. Alright, well, damn. Sucks to suck, huh? Okay. I don't know if we need to actually do anything in Riverwood. I think we just needed to go there. So we've made it there. And now we're just gonna fast travel to Whiterun. But that apparently could have been the issue. So, well, actually, let's do the Golden Claw thing. I feel like it may not be related, but it's like cover all my bases. You know what I mean? So let's go here, give back the Golden Claw, be a good noodle, and then we'll head to, fucking Whiterun. Hi.
I said no. No adventure.
Is the audio okay, by the way, or could it be a little louder? Alright, hi.
I don't know what you overheard, but...
What happened?
Yeah, an ornament.
Do you mean this one? You should fuck Camilla anyway? I think I fucked Camilla, and then I fucked the guy. Because he pissed me off, so I fucked him.
Funny thing, huh?
I shouldn't say that with no context. Let me turn the game volume up real quick, just to make it a little...
thing for me and my sister.
Is that better? Well, you can't tell right now, but... Okay, hold up. I'm so good at streaming. Hi. What? Okay, I think that might be better. Why does he look like Captain Jack Sparrow? He kind of does. He looks like if Captain Jack Sparrow took a bath. Like, that's kind of what he looks like. Oh, hi.
It means so much to us to have the claw.
Is that better, or could it still be louder?
Thank you.
Oh! I haven't fucked Camilla yet. I fucked, Feindal, I think. Or, no, I fucked one of the guys. The bard one. The bard one, I fucked him because he pissed me off. Well, shit. Okay. Target numero. Oh, fuck. The wench counter's not up. I had to. Okay. I'm going to be so real with you guys. Don't, like, okay. I can't say what it was for. If you're in the, well, I can, but it's like, if you're subbed, you know what it is. But I had to record something for a project I'm a part of, and I almost sent them the finished recording and video with the like it was meant to be a professional promotional thing, and I almost still had the fucking wench counter on there. So I'm glad we remembered that one. Are you saying you hate fucked Camilla's brother? Yeah, why? What was wrong with that? He pissed me off, so I put my dick in his mouth. Like, he was talking mad shit, so the only opportunity was to put my dick in his mouth. What would you have done? No, actually, don't tell me what you would have done. Don't tell me. Jack Sparrow crossed with Robert Downey Jr. Yeah, that works. I agree. What do we say, gamers? What do we say? There is no good time to enter an EV Games stream. All right. Let me, enough about me putting my cock in your mouth. Let's riz, okay? Milady, charmed to meet you.
Yes, hello.
Hi. Is that good volume-wise, or could it be louder? You're quite lovely. Your radiance lights up the store.
Oh, thank you.
In my mouth. I thought about making ribbons for Off-Kai Expo, because Off-Kai Expo does like the little ribbon thing that said like EB Games fucked my mom, and all I got was this ribbon. But then I remembered I'm there as like an official guest, and I'm like, I don't know. But then I was like, you know what, maybe that gives me like more reason to. Is that God damn it. I'm gonna get in trouble, right? I don't want to get in trouble. But like, if you're going to Off-Kai and you saw me there and I was like, hey man, I want you to have this, and it was a ribbon and it just says like EB Games fucked my wife, like, would you accept that? Would you? Fucking I sucked EB Games dick in the Hyatt Regency bathroom and all I got was this ribbon. Wife, no. Mom, yes. Oh, okay, fair. Are you sure that's a good idea? I love you guys. Truly, like, I feel like sometimes people will say shit when you're a content creator and they'll be like, you're responsible for the community you create. And it's like, not to be parasocial. Actually, no, this is not parasocial. Fuck it. Actually,
Hello again.
I don't think if I can get more parasocial than telling chat to suck my dick, like, literally. But anyway, I feel like we're made for each other. You know what I mean? Like we're made for each other. Y'all get me. Is the ribbon one of those massive ones for prizes? So, at certain cons, they'll give out like ribbons and you collect them and you put them on your badge, and your badge just gets progressively longer and longer. My buddy Ray literally had one where it was down to the floor. He had collected so many ribbons. I think they give you a prize depending on how many you collect. Is it just me or Camilla? She does have some big bazongers. All right, back to rizzing. Camilla, I'm working hard to prove my... I was trying to riz, but I sound like Donald Trump for a second. Camilla, I'm working hard to prove myself to you. Throw me a boner. This will be the best cock you've had in all of Tamriel. Some may say the greatest.
Don't get any ideas. The men here like my attention, and I like theirs.
Oh, okay.
Ben, could you talk to Faendal as well?
Sure. Okay. I think I already did that, so we'll see what... Oh. Hi, Janessa. You having a good time? Great. Okay. Great. Fantastic. Okay, let's go. I think I already did that. So, did I fuck up the quest? I might have fucked up the quest, because I'm pretty sure I already did that. Because that's why yeah. Yeah. Shit, I don't know. So she'll consider my romantic... Maybe I just need to talk to her again? Because I'm like 99% sure I did that already. Okay, it's locked now. Can the ribbon have the C mode on it? I'll have to... Okay, listen. Like... I don't know if it would get here in time, but now I'm like... Because I was like... It was kind of like a throwaway idea, but now I'm like actually thinking about it. Like... Would it get here in time? If anyone's in the Off-Kai Expo Discord and they have that link of like where to make ribbons, or like, can someone check the website for me? See what the turnaround time is? Like, would they get here in a week? I don't know if they would. I don't think they would. I don't think we have time. Maybe next year, right? Maybe next year. My business cards look great though. Whenever I have like hand out business cards at cons, I feel like the fucking Patrick Bateman American Psycho. Bro, my business cards look so good. I posted them on Twitter. My manager made them for me and they look nice as fuck. Okay, let's not use the big staff. Let's actually train my goddamn skills. This one. There you go. Good enough. That works. Brand new idea. I got cucked by EV Games. You know what? I think that's on brand for me. I think that's perfect. How do you join the choir for Off-Kai Expo? So pretty much the way you join is back in, I think we started doing recruitment back in February, and you just join by joining the off choir Discord. So they have the link to the Discord, or they don't anymore just because it's closed, but they have the link to the Discord on the off choir webpage on the website. So if you wanted to join for next year, because right now we're closed, unless you can learn like 48 pages of music in a week, then like fuck, do it. Like I don't give a shit. If you can learn 48 pages of music in a week, pop off, king. But usually we do signups from like February to April, just so that way people don't feel like they have to rush to learn the whole thing. And then you join through the website, which will lead you to the Discord. And then pretty much there's no like official thing. We put out a form at the very end, just be like, hey, just to check, are you coming for real? And if you're like, yeah, I'm coming for real, then you're in. And you show up and I conduct and you go, ah, and we have a good time. It's really fun. The choir last year was incredibly stressful. And it was still stressful in a way this year. Like, not because it wasn't fun, but because it was the first year doing the project, and I was doing everything all by myself. So I made the entire arrangement. I sang for a lot of the guides. I timed and tuned all the guides. And I was, managing the whole project and conducting. So it was a lot. But I'm really grateful. This year, Karina, who also has a music education background, did half the arrangement. So they split the arrangement in half, and we had a lot more volunteers singing the guides. I sang all the guides except for the bass guides. Bronze still did the bass guides, but I think I sang a lot of them. I think Goffrey still sang some of the tenor guides. Do they have to snipe tickets like regular people, or do they get priority? So pretty much it's just normal. Like what we told people like you being an off choir doesn't affect you getting a ticket for Off Kai Expo. And honestly, from what I've heard, none of us expected it to sell out until it did, and we were like, oh shit. So definitely next year, get your tickets as soon as you know you're gonna want to go. I had no fucking idea it was gonna sell out. Like it's crazy. I think a lot of people are like, but yeah, you being an off choir definitely doesn't affect your availability or your likelihood to get a ticket. I believe the off kai tickets are first come, first serve. So just, you get them when they open. It did take them a while for them to sell out. So definitely, I think they only sold out like last month or something like that. But basically, the only requirement for being an off choir is you learn your music and you have a ticket to Off Kai Expo. And as long as you do those two things, you're in. You're pretty much in. So it's very much open to everyone regardless of skill level. We have a lot of people who've been singing in choirs for like years now, and we have a lot of people where this is their first choir.
What was that?
Hey, Okay. So is that the courier? No, it's just random Breton. Okay, great. But yeah, so, watch the stream of this show, didn't you? So I wanted the info. Yeah, so they took a while to sell out. So next year you'll definitely have a little bit more time. I doubt they're gonna be like they were, at the very end for this year. Right. But, yeah, it's a lot of fun. Right. So this year we have a lot more. Oh yeah, there's all my Mammoth Tusk. So this year we have a lot more help, a lot more volunteers. I'm hoping we can get more people, to help us next year with like the arranging and the timing and tuning, just so that way I can focus more on conducting. We also had to revise the score 18 times, which low-key is not a great look for me. But that was the thing, is it was a battle to like get the score done so everyone has enough time to like learn it. And also like we didn't have any score editors, you know what I mean? So a lot of people didn't notice errors until they got to a certain section in the score, you know what I mean? So I think it'll be a little bit easier next year. Okay, let's go see Misty Summer's Sky. And that way we can turn that quest in. But I think it'll be really, really fun. Also, thank you for the hydrate, Noah. Welcome in. We're talking about Off Kai. Yeah, you're gonna do great, Rainbow. I think you'll have a lot of fun. Something about them getting a different venue for next year. I'll be real. I hope they get another venue, because the venue they have right now charged me $8 for a water bottle, and I thought that was me. Which, like, every con's gonna do that. But the venue's not super walkable, and there is stuff near, but it's kind of hard to get to. And I don't have a car, you know what I mean? So if you're at Off Kai Expo and you see me and David walking on the side of the road, Feel free to say hi. We might hitch a ride with you. Who knows? So let me see. Oh, she's gonna have her tits out. Okay, hold on. Let me drink more water for this. But yeah, it's one of those things where it's like, it's a stressful project for sure, but I love it so much. I wouldn't change it for the world. And like, here's the thing, is last year, I was so nervous about like, what if everyone thinks it's cringe? What if it goes to shit? What if no one shows up to this con and I look stupid? Whereas this year, I'm genuinely excited, and I actually feel really good about my conducting. We had a really big rehearsal on Monday, and like, it was rough, but we figured out some stuff, and I feel good. I feel good. Yeah, can we kidnap you? I mean, if you're cool with kidnapping Dave, too. If you give me, like, a sandwich, then yeah. Yeah, Rainbow's seen my conducting. Thank you. I don't think I'm, like, a super great conductor. I haven't conducted a lot of super, like, I don't know. My background, I haven't conducted anything more complicated than high school orchestra, which is, I guess, this is about a high school choir piece. There's a lot going on in this piece, but because it's a medley, there's a lot going on. It's crazy, but yeah, if you are interested in music or singing at all, or you just want to experience, what's it like talking to Evie in real life and having her be your fucking choir director? Then join Off Choir for next year. We would love to have you. We accept singers of all skill levels. As long as you're like down to learn, then you're good, you know? Also, it's not letting me inform Summer Sky that her sister is safe. Let me try ending the seduction. No, I still want to seduce her. Hold on.
Hello again.
Let me try starting seduction.
Are you making eyes at me?
Yeah,
I'm
why are her...
flattered.
You can't see it, but her tits are jiggling. I can't inform her that her sister is safe. Sadly, I don't have the attention span to learn music. That's valid. It is, since it's a medley of like a bunch of popular VTuber songs. It's a beefy piece of music. It's a beefy piece of music. Do you have Misty Sky with you? Oh, fuck! That might be it. Where the fuck did she go? We had her like 3 seconds ago. Misty? Did we leave Misty?
Hey, good to see you again.
I think we fucking left Misty.
All right then.
Oh, shit. I don't have the money to go to the U.S. That's valid. Travel's expensive. I've had a few people... Alright, we're gonna do this. Yeah, the music itself isn't that complicated. It's just long, and some of the transitions are weird because it's a medley. And it's stuff that, like, it sounds really good, but, like, in music, like, in notation, it looks a little fucky. Like, there's a lot of places where it's like we have a singular bar of 3/4, and then we go to, like, the 6/8 or whatever. It can be a little fucky. Okay, I think I fucking lost Misty.
What can I do for you?
Where did she go? I saw her in...
Good to see you.
I don't give a fuck. These tits are educational, right? That's an areola, that's a nipple. Okay, whoop-de fucking do. Why? I guess we need to go find Misty. Okay, because Misty keeps leaving us. I know we saw her at the Blue Palace. Did I accidentally, like, ditch her there? Oh, fuck. Did I ditch her? Oh, shit. Agreed. But yes, Off-Kai is a project. Off-Kai Choir is a project I'm really passionate about. So I will not shut the fuck up about it. They are doing a live stream this year, which I think will be a lot more stable than last year. So I will invite you guys to come watch if you want to see me in real life conducting. I am going to be cosplaying myself. We are going to be doing, next week, actually, I'm debuting my 4D model. Which is a fancy way of saying we're going to do a cosplay stream of myself, which I think will be really, really fun. And I'll be bringing on my friend, Mackenzie, who made the costume to kind of like talk about it. Yeah, I fucking ditched Misty. But she made the costume to talk about it. But she also hasn't played Skyrim before ever. So, I kind of want to jump scare her with immersive and epic and be like, yeah, this is just what Skyrim is like, and just see how she reacts to it. I think it'll be fun. I think starting a little series of showing people I care about in my life the mods I use could be really funny. Because my dad has also expressed interest in playing Skyrim. So, like, do I show my father my harem of women? Do you think he'd be proud of me? Actually, knowing him, he'd probably be like, good for you, kiddo.
They say the biggest breasts aren't usually the most sensitive, but mine certainly are. I guess I'm just lucky.
Yeah, you are, girl. Okay, follow me.
I suppose I could do worse.
Yeah, we literally just ditched her here. Yeah, my parents were thinking about surprising me in San Francisco to watch the choir, but they can't because my mom got sick and my sister has to like watch my cat and stuff. But maybe next year. Okay, he'd want to get his own harem. I don't know how my mom would feel about that. I feel like my dad would find it funny. I think my mom would be disappointed in me. Okay, so now that we have that, let's go back to Whiterun. Let's go back. Also, sorry if I feel like I did take my meds today, I swear. But because of like the COVID medication I was on, because I immediately was like, fuck that shit. I wasn't allowed to take my ADHD medicine with it. And it's been like day 3 of being back on my ADHD medicine, but I feel like it's still kind of like, whoa. Okay, Misty, are you here?
I want to be, but here.
Perfect. Okay. Come inside. Let's see your sister. Let's have a happy reunion. Is the game still too quiet, by the way? I'm a little nervous about it, but I think it should be okay.
Let me know if you see anything.
I'm gonna turn up just like a teensy bit. Just like the teensiest, tiniest of bits. Beep. Okay. Let me know if that's too loud. Beep. But yes, I've been having a fun time streaming today. I don't know. I was so bummed out last stream, but I'm having fun today. So as long as Erica, because it's all his fault, doesn't do anything fucked up, then we're good. Oh wait, that's the. I thought that was the door to like open up to see her. That's the door out. Okay, let's go. All right. Da da da. Boobs. Okay. And so maybe if I show them for like just a millisecond, I'll be okay. Although I do still need to post this on YouTube. We'll find out. Also, why does she kind of look like Vanya?
Hey, good to see you again.
She looks like Vanya if Vanya wasn't a raging cunt. It's my OC, I can say that.
I better get going.
Like, Vanya's she's kind of the worst in a lot of ways. Well, yeah, she's kind of Vanya coded. Okay, anyway. Miss Summer Sky.
Bad for business.
I have a meeting with Miss Summer Sky.
Be careful.
Miss Summer Sky, I would like to see you. I would like to make your acquaintance. Where is she? Miss Summer Sky? There she is. Okay, just ignore the boobs.
Misty?
Okay, now we might be pushing it. Let's yeah. Okay. Well, I'll tab back in. Oh, your sister is safe and sound and hot. She's super hot. Okay, maybe my.
Please, take this as payment and a symbol of my affection.
Thank you. Her collectible Debella figurine. Wait, it's a collectible. Wait, let me see. I want to see collectible. Oh damn, that's nice. Thanks, girl. Okay. All right. Well, we've done that. Let's see if we can finally talk to Ysolda. Now that we've figured out where the fuck Riverwood is. I'm still kind of fucked up by the fact I just never went to Riverwood. Like, it's one of those things where it's like you play Skyrim so much you never think you'd forget it, you know? But apparently. Okay. Alright. She's doing her thing. Alright. Anyway. Let's skedaddle and see if we can fuck Ysolda. Can we actually fuck her with the Mammoth Tusk? Because that'd be funny as hell. Like, everyone jokes about it, you know? But, like, can that be an animation? Can someone do that? Well, maybe not the pointy end. Maybe the not pointy end. I'm bloated with disease? Again? Alright, vampirism. Should I deal with that? I feel like I should deal with that. Do we want to be vampire?
Watch what you're doing.
I don't know, man. Hi.
Do you feel all right?
I feel great now that you're here. God damn it. You don't have...
It's got to. Worst thing is, nope. Reputation.
We don't have anything
bad
new.
apples spoiled a bunch. Yeah, it's got to. Worst thing
I'm just
is,
clicking through it because it's like...
And Denord knows a liar when she sees one.
Why do we still not have that? Let me look back at the page because I literally loaded up the little thingy to see why this could be happening. Is it called Ysolda's Tough Lesson? Let me look at the name of the quest. Because I think it is. I just want to make sure I'm looking at the playthrough for the right one. Yeah, it is. Okay, get and retrieve Ysolda's... Yeah, let me see. I'm not getting Ysolda's quest to retrieve a Mammoth Tusk. Not an issue with amorous adventures. The vanilla quest is set on changed location. Try fast traveling to Riverwood, then back to Whiterun. Maybe we need to, like, do that immediately. Like, fast travel Riverwood, fast travel to Whiterun. You know what I mean? Let me see. I want to look up something else, too. Ysolda Mammoth Tusk quest won't start. Let me look up some other cities. See if there's any other solutions. You already have a fetch quest for someone else. Oh, okay. Well, that's so stupid. Okay. Apparently you can't have multiple, according to Reddit, apparently you can't have multiple fetch quests out at the same time. Oh, that's so fucking stupid. Ugh. Okay, I hate Skyrim. I love Skyrim. I fucking hate Skyrim. Fine. Okay. Okay, that's dumb. Okay, well, let's see what's in the miscellaneous. Take Torque. Yeah, we can do that. We can do this one. Locate the face skull. Oh, God, we do have a lot of them. Find someone. Hand the books to recipients. Like, anything that can be considered fetching. I don't think we really have that many, but whatever. Alright, I guess we're just gonna knock these out. And then hopefully Ysolda will give us something. Give us anything, Queen. Okay, here we go. Take Torg's Warhorn. I really thought we did the Torg's Warhorn thing already, but maybe my save got fucked up. I know we had some save fuckery when I added all those mods in, but we'll see what happens, man. We'll see. I don't know. Okay. Where is the Shrine of Talos? Here it is. Okay. Come on, ladies. There we go. We got the whole squad here. Great. I do miss, like, I like this playthrough a lot. Don't get me wrong, right? But I do miss Vanya. Specifically for the long stride spell. Can I just learn the long stride spell so I can go fast? Fuck being upright right now. That's so valid. You're so real for that. Yeah, that's my, wait, what? Oh, hello. Oh. I saw a dragon and then the game crashed immediately. Man, I sure hope that's not indicative of any bigger issues. Cause that sure would suck. That sure would be not great. Let's load her up again. Load her up again. Come on, old Bessie. You can do it. Put your back into it. You can do it. I believe in you. Come on. You can Skyrim. I believe in you. You'll Skyrim so good. You'll Skyrim real good. Okay. Come on. It's coming up. It's coming up. Come on. Come on. Hi, Vader. I wanted to see if my Logitech controller would work with my Xbox. It doesn't. Yeah, I have an Xbox controller on my PC, but I know sometimes controllers can be really fucking weird. Hi, Leo. Intermix, thank you so much for the following on Gaslight Gatekeep Girl Boss. Welcome to the stream. My fucking Skyrim crashed. We're waiting for it to load back up. These games are gonna lose my mind. I feel that. Oh, she started beatboxing. Okay. Alrighty. That's how you know it's coming back up, is if she starts beatboxing. Alright, please don't crash. Please don't crash. I just want to fuck Ysolda. Please don't crash. Please don't crash. I just want to fuck redheads. Ba 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 ba. I think that's a noble pursuit. You know, Elisif. Okay, there we go. Continue. Thank you, No Vader. I appreciate that. Skyrim, if you don't load, I'm gonna piss myself. Genuinely. Not actually. Unless. No. Okay. Please. I just want to clear out my miscellaneous quest so I can fuck Ysolda with the Mammoth Tusk. Not the pointy end, though, because I'm not a freak. Okay, here we go. This is fine. We didn't really get very far when we fast traveled. I think this is fine. Okay, let's start here. Okay, just to get the Warhorn done. I really thought we did that already. But us fucking with the mods, I say us. It was all me. Me fucking with the mods might have fucked up some stuff with my save. So we'll see what happens. I'm gonna quick save. Are we all here? Everyone here? Okay, great. My harem is here. Okay? The harem is alive and well. Alright, ladies, let's roll out. Okay, don't question my cowboy hat. I'm leaving the cowboy hat stays on during sex. Although actually, if our records show, it didn't. I think that was stupid. Why won't they? Oh shit, Saber Cat. Hi. Do I have any weapons out? Okay, there we go. Come on, get his ass. Get his ass. Yeah, fuck him up. Alright, let me take those two because I am gonna do some smithing at some point eventually. But yeah, I think there should be an option in OSTEM. There probably is. To let me keep my cowboy hat on during sex. Why? I think that's the only reason this man gets with any women to begin with. They're just charmed by his cowboy hat. He doesn't have a southern accent, but like I could see him faking one just for sillies, you know? Okay, here we go. Shrine of Talos. I'm gonna save one more time because I'm afraid. I'm afraid if I approach it, it's gonna crash again. Okay. Shrine of Talos. Yeah, that's exactly what Talos looks like. There we go. Okay, talk to Elisif. Perfect. Alright. Is her dead husband here? No. Okay, great. Guys, I remember her dead husband showing up, but I think now we fixed it or something like that. I don't know. Okay, what's the next miscellaneous quest we need to do? Silent Moons. That's one. Okay, let's go just right over here. But apparently that's what Reddit said. And Reddit could be wrong. Reddit has been wrong before. But apparently we have too many miscellaneous quests and that's why she's not giving it to us. But I don't know. I don't buy that. Low key. I feel like that's kind of bullshit. But we're going to try it regardless. You know what I mean? We're going to give it the good college try. Silent Moons Camp. That's where we're going. Okay. And we'll see what happens. And if this doesn't work, then we'll try something else. But there's the dragon. Hey, buddy. Hey, bro. You come here often? Oh, boy. Okay. Let's not get stuck. Hi. Hello. Do we... Here, I'm a baby. I'm a baby man. My women do all my work for me. I don't know what the fuck I'm doing. We're just gonna... Not even stealth archer. We're just gonna... Archer. Okay, come on. Yay, archery, yay. Oh, there he goes. Okay, you know what? If I'm not tanking, then we should be okay. I really need to get better weapons. But let's... 11, 19. Okay. Let's get back to the dual wielding. Oh, shit, there's a rat there. Okay, fuck. All right. Come on! Come on! Don't just stand there and get on the ground! Oh, he is just standing there. Or flying there. Come on! Ah, Jesus Christ. I hate when they're just circling. Like, it makes sense, but like... Oh, well now you're all the way over there? You can make me run all the way over there? Okay, fine. It's fine. It's fine. I'm at the point where dragon attacks are just kind of a nuisance. Everyone becomes a stealth archer. We haven't played a stealth archer in a hot minute, so who knows? Maybe we'll respect him. Alright, does this count? Okay, I'm hitting him. I'm bonking him. Oh shit, I'm on fire. Let's maybe not be on fire. Can I move? Yeah, let me just scooch over here. Okay. Let me get the leg. I got the leg. I'm on the leg. Oh my, he just kicked the shit out of him. Okay. Perfect. Arrow, dragon heart, and we'll take the bones and scales too. Apparently Janasa's regard for me has increased. Maybe she liked watching me kick the shit out of a dragon. I don't blame her. We'll drop the bone, because I do want to build dragon bone armor at some point, but that's a far ways away. And I don't want, like, it sells well, but I don't want to carry it around, you know what I mean? Alright, where are we going? This way. Cool. Dragon soul sucked. Fantastic. Actually, let me put my weapons away so I run faster. Okay, perfect. So let's see, how many miscellaneous... Is it maybe like these quests? We have too many of these quests? Because it specifically said miscellaneous quests. Alright, some of these we can do, but I don't know. Maybe it's just me, but I feel like that's really, like, I don't think... Okay, this is a lot of quests, but I don't think this is too many miscellaneous quests. This is like nothing. I didn't even have to scroll that long to get to the bottom, you know? Although maybe having to scroll at all is an issue. That could be part of the problem. That could be it. Alright, let's steamroll through Silent Moons. I don't think Silent Moons takes that long. I think it's a kind of beefy dungeon. Not dungeon, well, camp, I guess. But it's not too crazy. Okay. Hello. Hello. I'm here to murder your leader. Where's your leader, bro? Oh god, we gotta go inside. Oh shit. I forgot that I can't block. with these, so I'm just like, oh shit. Okay, here we go. Yeah, fuck her up, Misty. There we go. Teamwork. Okay. All right, who's next? Here, you guys go ahead. I'm gonna do some looting and tooting. Perfect. Yeah, you guys got this on lock. Okay. Looks like you guys got it. I'ma just yeah, I'ma just head inside. I think we're good. You know, the ladies got it under control. Who am I to question them? All right. Let's see. I'm just gonna go in, dick out, and see what happens. You know, just go in. It's fine. Hi. Come here. Punk. 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 Oh shit. Okay, let me. Here. Punk. Oh shit, she's gonna bonk me. Okay, I think I blocked that one.
Weren't expecting that, were you?
Okay. No block. Okay, there we go. Come on. Okay. Perfect. And then do we get that guy? Perfect. Okay. Oh. Well, that wasn't hard at all. Jesus Christ. Oh, I took the head. Aha! I've achieved head again! Let's go. Okay. Not the kind of head I wanted. Well, I guess it could be if you're a fucking freak, but well,
How many people does it take
is
to steal a
Jasper
chandelier?
fucked up enough to fuck a dead body?
No, but it could be done.
Vote now with your phone.
Now that's how it's
I mean, I feel like it's problematic enough I have to like think about it. Like now I'm like maybe like I don't know. I feel like it would be a situational kind of thing. like how old's the body? Did Autobot delete my message? I did not see your message. Aqua, thank you so much for the 19 months. I can't wait to see what she does with the Tusk. Amen. Hopefully we can get her with the Tusk today. I'm really hoping we can get the 20 wenches. We were fucking killing it with the wenches, and now we've hit a wall. So hopefully we can get that under control. But apparently we have too many miscellaneous quests, which is bullshit. But thank you so much for the 19 PlayStations gamer. I appreciate it. Alright, let's see. What's next? One of them was just read a note. Type 1 if you're trying to do something with the Mammoth Tusk. 1. Okay, what was the note? It was... Let's see. There's a note apparently we did not read. Note from Eltress. Okay. Meet me at the Shrine of Talos. Okay, I just went there. Are y'all all putting the fucking Mammoth Tusk up your butt? I mean, if you want to, that's fine. I do not want to do Forsworn Conspiracy. I do not. Are there any bitches for me to fuck in jail? Because if so, then maybe we will do Forsworn Conspiracy. But for now, I'm good not doing that. Okay, let's see. Yeah, this should be fine. We'll do it on Prison Bitches. Genuinely though, is there any like Amorous Adventure stuff in Salted? Or not Salted. In Forsworn Conspiracy? Let's talk to Elisif though, because she's pretty. Right? I'm pretty sure we can't do anything until we're Thane. Like we can't actually smash. I really just Eriker annoys me so much. I want to cuck him. Like he crossed me, therefore I will cuck him. You know? It just feels like the only logical solution. Alright. Come here. Elisif! Wait, what?
This is for you.
Oh my god! What'd she give me? She gave me 3 gold ingots and an iron ingot. Oh my god, she was really like me. Okay. We still need to finish Janasa's quest too, but I kind of zoned out when we started it, so I need to like read it and figure out what the fuck we're doing. Prison bitches like Martha Stewart? Would Jasper fuck Martha Stewart? Yes. This man would absolutely rail the shit out of Martha Stewart. Absolutely. No questions asked. Alright. Hey, girl. Hi.
good to see you.
Oh, she's so pretty! Okay. I've placed the horn at the shrine.
Falk said I could count on you. You have more than earned the right to purchase property and take the next step to becoming a Thane. Speak to Falk when you have the funds.
I don't have any money.
And thank you.
I don't have any money. Yeah, my Jarl, is there anything else you need?
There is room in my court for a new Thane. It's an honorary title mainly, but there are a few perks.
Yeah, we have to
someone
become
like you could make
Thane.
use of. However, I could. You
We
help
did
my
do this
people and
recently.
purchase a house. Good luck to you.
So I don't know if I want to do it again. We have
Good
already
talking to
assisted 3 out of the 5 people though, which is good. Yeah, how much is a house in Solitude? Because I really want to
to
fuck
see you.
Elisif. 50,000 gold? Yeah, I'm telling you, we don't have fuck Elisif money. We literally, we have 9,000 gold.
It's safe.
We need $50,000. We do not have fuck Elisif money. This is so sad. This is so fucked up. All right. We have a financial incentive for pussy now. I guess she really doesn't want any broke bitches. Like, damn. She does not want any broke men.
Do you feel all right?
I feel great.
Take this the wrong way, but you look a little sickly.
Shut up. Okay. Let's see. I think, I know one of the ways you can help people is literally just by giving someone money. So we might be able to just give a beggar some money and then we're good. I can't remember one of the other ways to do it. I don't know what we've done already and what we haven't. Have used Todd Howard's feature to get into merchant chests. True. Yeah, she don't want me, bro. She does.
If you find the headsman, he gives you a quest that counts.
Oh, really? Okay, bet. I actually didn't know that. Okay, we'll have to
Also
try.
finding Noster's helmet.
I remember that one, yeah. I think we might have done that. Oh, yeah. Okay, here we go.
Spare some gold for a veteran?
There you go.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah, there we go. What's your story? Yeah, we did this once
Lost my
before.
helmet
So
in one of-
we'll add this to our missed quest, I guess.
I was there. You
Yeah,
understand?
yeah, we've done this
They
already.
left me
It's
for
fine.
dead.
I do want to see how much money we have once we sell a bunch of our shit. Can we fuck the ladies at Radiant Raiment? They annoy me, so I kind of want to fuck them. Like, are they gotta be an option, right? They gotta be. I feel like they would, like, okay, this is gonna sound really stupid, but, like, can I be a little horny on me for a second? Like, just for a second. Like,
Just like my beer and
like, just a little bit.
please.
Is that allowed?
Feel free to look
Can I do
around.
that? Because I have a thought, but I don't know if it's an inside thought or an outside thought. Okay, horny thought incoming. Mute the stream. Okay, genuinely, I feel like it would be really hot to, like, they think I'm just so stupid, but my dick is just so good and they can't get enough of it. Like, that's hot to me. Like, they know I'm, like, beneath them, but they just, like, can't resist my fucking cowboy man cock. Does that make sense? Is there a name for that? Because I feel like that's a fetish.
Trinkets, odds,
Like,
ends,
wanting
that sort of
to
thing.
fuck people that think you're stupid and, like, brainwash them. I should stop. I was gonna say my entire life. I don't know. I just feel like that's the way I feel. I'm just sharing how I feel. Okay, horny thought done. But that's how I feel. Okay, that's just, yeah. I know this is legacy stuff. We are not. Her ass is not doing legacy. We are not. It's just taking up space. We are just going to sell shit. But yeah, like, I don't know. That's just how I feel. Because it's like, they're really mean and they annoy me, but they're hot. So it's like, I'll make an exception. You know? Like, I don't know what the brain of my head is. You're so real for that. Let me take a sippy. Type 1 if you agree. Okay, let's go to, yeah. Can I fuck them? Please let me fuck them. Can I fuck both of them at the same time? That would be based, actually. This game's let me do it before. Oh wait, that would be incest, which is not based. But we did kind of do that already. We did kind of cross that one off when we fucked Anarchy and her daughter at the same time. I feel like Sisters is, like, still questionable, but not, like, as bad. I don't know. Okay.
Oh, what delight. Another charm.
Here, let's just ask
Take
what
a
she has
look.
for sale. And let's just sell some shit first. Okay, this can go, this can go, this can go, this can go, this can go. That got rid of my cowboy hat, so we're getting rid of it. This can go. This can go, this can go, this can go, this can go. And this can go. Okay, we still have only 1,300. Okay, let's talk to her some more. Do you get a lot of business like that?
Radiant Raiment has the finest attire in all of Skyrim.
Maybe if I do the Blue Palace quest, then maybe they would let me? Did I just hear Sister on Sister isn't too bad? Well, compared to Mother and Daughter. Like, they're both bad, right? But we already did mother-daughter incest, so, like, we can't go lower. You know, like Sister on Sister is still, like... hear me out. Like, it's still bad, but it's like the difference between robbing an ice cream store and stabbing someone, right? They're like, you follow me? They're both crimes. Just one is worse than the other, you know?
It is when my customers waste
Does
time
that-
sweating and not buying.
Does that make sense? You mean defending this argument like Phoenix, right? Damn, we can't fuck her. What do you mean you already did mother on daughter? Oh, you weren't there for that stream. Without we fucked Anarchy and her daughter. They were both hot, and it was a threesome, and I play, and the VOD I couldn't monetize the VOD because I played Sweet Home Alabama while it was happening. Hi, Morgan. What do we say? When is a good time to enter an EB game stream? Never. Never. Do you always insult people when you meet them?
It's not an insult, just an observation. If I were walking around,
I almost
the room, I would
monetized
want you to tell me to see a doctor.
Incest is gonna
Or
feed my
something with
family.
an open wound where a tire is concerned.
I think what's wrong with my outfit?
Nothing at all. It's very nice. If you want something with a little more style, however, you should see what we have available.
I think
Thank you.
my outfit is fantastic. I think this is great. She can fuck right off. I look fantastic. Why is it called a VOD? I don't know, actually. Like, deadass? I have no
We
idea.
provide clothing
Alright,
for all the sellers.
what should I wear?
If you're willing
Yeah,
to
okay, we
wear
can
one
do
of
that.
Radiant Good.
Sure
Here's
thing.
the outfit.
Okay, what's the outfit? What's the outfit? Why are her boobs so big? There's no way she's eating so lavishly. Video on display? Yeah, that makes sense. Okay, let's wear this fuck-ass outfit. And maybe, just maybe, she will, yeah, I can't wear a backpack and a cowboy hat. That's so fucked. Okay, where's this stupid outfit? Can I wear, no, I can't wear the ripped bodice. There we go. Let's wear this. Oh god, he kind of looks a little dapper though, actually. Like low key with the cowboy bandana, it looks kind of like okay. He cleans up. Okay, he took off the cowboy hat. Okay, all right. She doesn't want that cowboy boy for me then. Yeah, look, he's kind of. Bro is dapper. Bro is about to like solve a trade negotiation. God damn. Okay, I'm lazy as fuck. We're just gonna do this. I'm wondering, genuinely, I'm just doing this to see if we can smash. Like, that is the only reason I'm doing this. I'm gonna be genuinely kind of upset if we can't smash the elf twins.
Oh.
But, like, I would understand why the mod author wouldn't do that, because they are fucking annoying. But, like, that makes me want to fuck them more. You know? Like, you get me? I really hope you get me. Please, somebody. Tell me I'm not a freak, please. Hey, girl.
It's a fine day with you around.
What do you think about my outfit?
It's quite fetching, actually.
Like, close the mouth.
Craftsmanship is
Stop it.
excellent.
Exactly. You get it. You get it. Well, it was made by these two whores at Radiant Raiment.
Oh, really? Well, you can tell them that I will be putting in a request for a few dresses quite soon.
And I'm going to be putting a request for my dick in your ass. Goodbye. Okay. Alright, let's head out and let's see if this works. Please, please, God. Let me smash. Let me smash. Why is half of the Jarl's nipples out? I don't know, honestly. Oh, wait, Lydia's giving me something? Wait, what the fuck?
Well done, do you look fancy?
Oh, she gave me some ingots. Why do all my girlfriends just give me ingots? I feel like this, like, just promotes the the fact that we're doing smithing this playthrough. Oh, shit. Hi. Back up.
Looks like that's it.
Okay, I don't want to do Legacy. We're not doing Legacy this
Sorry.
time. We have a whole ass other playthrough for Legacy. Anything Legacy related, I'm just skipping through, okay? But yeah, her nipples are out as a personal choice, you know? Good for her. Good for her, right? Good for her. I'm gonna fucking sneeze, by the way. Alright, let me smash, please. Please, 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 please. Please, 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 please. Where is she? Where is she? That's the wrong store. Ma'am. Ma'am. Oh, thank God they're still open. If you're hot enough, anything flies. I guess, you know. I'm working on it. Hey, girl.
Why, hello. Here to buy? If you
Elisif
ask
loved the
price, you
outfit.
might
She'll
in the
be
wrong
placing
store.
an order soon.
That's wonderful. You've done us a great service. As promised, the outfit is
Damn.
yours. And here's something
We
for your
can't
trouble.
smash. We can become Thane
I'll
now,
see you
You're
again
wearing, I
soon.
know for
but
a
we
fact
can't
you're wearing the wrong
smash. Ugh, okay. We just need to buy property. We need money. Okay, that's what we need. We need fucking money. Look at Mazda. I mean, like, I can still fuck her, but like, it's the seducing that's fun. You know what I mean? It's the shitty little cut up dialogue that brings me joy. You know, I want to fuck organically. I don't just want to press the button. You know, I feel like I've been robbed. Are the Amorous Adventures mod authors still active? Do they take requests? Fathers will gift you random ass gifts. Yeah, that's the thing, is it's like they're always giving me ingots. So I guess I really should be a smith. We're gonna take a quick break real quick just so I can run to the bathroom, get more water. But we'll be right back in, we'll do 3 minutes. I think 3 minutes will be fine. Alright, we will be right back once I go pee my pants. Okay, BRB! Meh. Okay, I think I may have also found another reason why we can't get with Ysolda right now. apparently one of the specific quests that is blocking us is the finding the Amulet of Arche quest. But apparently there is an Amulet of Arche in the Whiterun Hall of the Dead, so we should be able to find that pretty easy. But this is the quest that's cucking us. Fucking Torbjorn. Torbjorn Overwatch is cucking us, which is fucked up. I'm still upset that we can't smash, but that's okay. So let's go to Whiterun, grab that one, and hopefully we can just call it a day after that, honestly. Hopefully we can just get the amulet, do that, and then we'll be fine, okay? Then we can smash Ysolda. If we can't, I'm gonna be really sad, and we'll be back to the drawing board. But I think we're getting there, genuinely. Okay, so where is the Hall of the Dead? Is the Hall of the Dead in Dragon's Reach, or is it Temple of Kinnereth? Guard Barracks, Drunken Huntsman, Breeze Home, that 3 Breeze Homes. Okay, great. War Maidens, Belthor. Let's see. It's by the temple. Okay. By the what's her face? I think I know what you're talking about. By the Temple of Kinnereth, right? Yeah, okay. Let me see. Because apparently there's one in there. I just want to...
Do you feel alright?
I'll feel better once okay, one of my followers gave me 3 pieces of leather. Okay, that's indicative of something. Okay. Hello. Here we go. Hall of the Dead. Okay. Dead people, dead people, dead people. Yay! Okay. Let's get this fucking amulet. Give it to Torbjorn Overwatch. And we should be good. Okay, where's this goddamn amulet? Apparently it's like just hanging around out here somewhere. Let's see. There's a skull. Don't need that. Embalming tools. Let's see. The catacombs.
I prefer Debella's teachings myself.
Let's see. We'll cure my diseases real quick. Never openly break the laws of Skyrim. Well, I can't do that. You can find a talking wolf follower there? Oh, bet. Okay. Should be. Maybe it's not here. Maybe it's in the catacombs. I don't see it in here. So I thought it would be like maybe up on the altar or something. You guys see it? It's an Amulet of Arche we're looking for. It might be back here, actually. Let's see. In gold. Let's see. Might be up here. Oblivion Dagger. Oh, that's cool. This is stuff where it's like, okay, I'm gonna need to come back here for the Oblivion Dagger in my other playthrough. Let's see. Amulet of Arche. Amulet of Arche. You got an amulet.
You like using just one hand for your...
Here, let's, oh yeah, I have a head. The priest amulet is in the catacombs. Okay, that's probably where we're looking for. Let's head through there. And then hopefully we'll find that one. I am gonna need to turn in the, fucking decapitated head I'm just carrying around. Am I not supposed to be here? Oh, shit. Okay. Alright, let's see. Amulet. Any of y'all got an amulet? Oh, shit. Amulet. Anyone got an amulet? Yeah, y'all handle that. I'ma just mind my business. Ancient iron mace, that could be useful. No amulet. So no amulet. Caravan captain's note. Ooh, interesting. I didn't read all that. It didn't give me a quest, so I was like, okay. Alright, down here. Weatherward Circlet. Okay, that's cool. And we'll need to definitely come down here with the Vanya playthrough, because I don't think we have. But, oh, there's a stone down here. Cool. Okay, yeah, let me get the fucking, this thing back out, because I can't see shit. Let's see. Because that's where we came in from, right? I believe so. Deathblow, it's a bit hard to find. I found it close to a reef. Ooh, there's a thing of coins over here. Close to a reef. See, that's my problem, is when you say reef, I'm like a coral reef? Oh, hi. Oh, hey! You wanna come along? Fuck yeah! Alright, now I have another dog. We have dog number 1 and dog number 2. Fuck yeah.
How may I help you?
Great. Okay, I have a dog now. Not what I was looking for, but, I'm not upset about it either. Okay, let's see. Alright, amulet, amulet, amulet. Come on, this is the one thing fucking keeping me from... Okay. What about over here? Maybe it's further in? It's in a separate room. Here we go. Oh, by a wreath. Oh, I see what you're saying. Okay. So it should be around here somewhere then. Let's see. Come on. Knock that cup over. Fuck it. Shit. Still don't see it. There's no way I've already been here. Like, there's no goddamn way. I don't remember coming here at all. Maybe it's not this one. By a wreath.
Gaslight, geek, girl
Unruffled,
boss.
thank you so much for the follow. You're not Gaslight, geeky girl boss. I'm trying to find a necklace so I can fuck Ysolda. I don't see it. Let me see if there's any other rooms that I'm missing. But I'm really like, damn. Where the fuck is this? Have we explored everywhere? It looks like we've explored next to room. It blends in with it. Oh, so this is like a game of I Spy or some shit. Hello? Wreath. I'm looking with my eyes. I don't see it. Oh. Did I knock it over? I did kind of walk over everywhere.
You have a backup plan if we get caught.
No, I do not have a backup plan, ma'am. Sorry. Okay. Am I just blind? Here, hold on. We got the glasses debuff because I'm VTubing. Hold on, let me put these back on. Okay. Oh, actually, it tracks my eyes pretty well even with my glasses. Girl, I do not. What? Did I actually knock it over? Genuinely, I'm like, there's no way I've been here before. I would have known if I had been here before. Damn. Okay, maybe I fucked it up. Is there... It's not under the table or anything. Because it definitely looks like it'd be here, but... Maybe not. It's on the ground now. You knocked it off jumping on... God damn it. Now I'm gonna feel like fucking Velma looking for her contact lenses or her glasses or whatever. That's what I was thinking. I was thinking the scene for the SpongeBob movie where he's looking on the ground. It's like, what are you doing down there? I dropped my contact. I'm looking for my contact lens. Ladies, have you seen my contact lens? I can't find my contact lenses. Please. Oh, shit. Okay. I can't. It's not under... You know what? Desperate times call for desperate measures. Where's, We have to enhance. Alright, where is it? Let me look by everyone's feetsies. Make sure I'm not missing nothing. Did it fall in the void? Is it in the void? Okay, it's not in the void. That's a good sign, I think. What the fuck? Where is this goddamn necklace? Hello? I'm so tempted to reload it and just calmly walk up to the wreaths and not do whatever the fuck I did before. I genuinely do not see this fucking necklace. Do I have the stupid? Very possible. Okay, this is scuffed, but hear me out. Okay, we're just gonna... I'm blind, okay? I just want to smash. I literally just want to smash. That's all I want to do. Hi, okay.
Is someone there?
Yeah, y'all handle that. Yeah, y'all do your thing. And I'm gonna do mine, okay? I'm not gonna... You guys got it? Okay, great. Alright.
What was that?
Come on.
Oh, there's another wreath over there. Okay.
Oh, I think it just broke a nail.
Perfect. Okay. Nobody move
No choice.
anything. Nobody move. This is the wrong fucking room. Well, there is still a wreath in here. It's not up there, is it? There's also a wreath over here. Okay, let's keep the fucking lantern out. Yeah, I might just go buy it at Radiant Raymond if I can't find it. So I don't think it's in this one. Might be in... Although, did we see this room before? I feel like... No, we did because of the coin purses. That's right. Okay. Let's find the other one then. Down here. Okay, there's the lockbox. Okay. the letter. Aha, okay. Everyone, be calm. Do not touch anything. Hi, Yara. Welcome in, gamer. I'm trying to find a necklace so I can have sex with a woman. Okay. Not you. I have the stupid. I cannot see this goddamn necklace. What the fuck? Where is it? I'm going to shit my pants. Yeah, that too. Bless you, David.
Thank you.
Okay. Maybe it was in the other wreath room. Unless there's like another room we're missing or something. I don't know if we are though. It's just in front of the wreath. In front of the wreath on the right table in the smaller room. Was that the smaller room? Front of the wreath on the right. Where did I just go? Because this one, in front of the wreath on the right. There's no way I've already been here. I really don't think I've been here before. Like, I'm trying to remember, and I don't think I have. Okay, let's go down here to the right. To the right, to the right, to the right, to the right, to the left, to the left, to the left. I don't think it's here, gamers. Well, time to go buy one.
Gaslight Gatekeep Girl Boss.
Hey, Jake, thank you so much for the follow. You're not Gaslight Gatekeep Girl Boss. I'm blind. Sometimes it ends up on the floor for me. Oh, God. Back to looking for the contact lens. Where's that amulet? Come on. Give me the goddamn amulet. Please. I mean, I can just go buy one somewhere, can't I? God, it's gonna send me on a whole ass different adventure. Oh God. Okay. Alt tap. Google search. Where can I find a amulet of RK? In the northern room, disguised in the wreath on the right table. No, it's okay. I want to look at the video. There's like a. Is there a video? No, this is just a video of something else. Does someone got a picture of it? With like a big red circle by it, because that is not there. That is, no, that is literally not there. Like, I'm looking at the pictures of it. There's no way it was there. There's just no fucking way. I mean, I'll check one more time because it's like off to the side. Am I really that blind? It's possible. What? There's gotta be another way we can, like the picture shows it like right over here. But I don't see it. Sounds like a job for console commands. What's the code for fucking Amulet of RK? I don't want to deal with this shit. Amulet of RK item ID. Okay. Here we go. What is it? Fucking, I think I remember. Okay. Here we go. Player, if Skyrim will load. Okay, let me see. Player dot add item 1. I can't control 000 CC 848. No, what's the fucking? Oh, I think it's a. There we go. Player dot add item. 000. I'm probably forgetting something. I just don't remember what it is. CC 8481. Ah! Guys, we found the amulet of RK. Whoa! Isn't that crazy? No, yeah, I have the quest. Wow. Wow, that's so wild. Oh my God, I can't believe we found it. Yay! Let's go, girls. Yay! Hooray! Yippee! What do we say? Good enough. Good enough. Good enough. Hey, you come here often?
Hello, friend. Oh, you and I should.
Are you a vampire? Oh, you're a vampire. Okay, damn. All right. Cool. All right. That's the second vampire I've seduced, apparently. The one thing that I do have beef with is I start seduction.
Gaslight,
And that makes it sound
gatekeep,
like...
girl boss.
Clap, thank you so much for the follow. Welcome to the stream. Your Gaslight, gatekeep, girl boss. But it says start seduction. And that makes it sound like it's going to engage a sex scene. But they'll just be like, oh, you're so hot. And then nothing happens. And I'm like, is that what they're calling seducing these days? Because I didn't think that's what that was. Huh? Okay, I do need to collect a bounty. Where's the thing for Torbjorn? Whatever the fuck his name is. Torbjorn. Hand the books over. There we go. Okay. Let's go to Windhelm. Give him this amulet. And hopefully, then, finally, we can fuck Ysolda. Please, God, I'm begging you. I don't have the money to get with Elisif. Can I have one redhead? Please. We don't have fuck Ysolda, or not fuck Ysolda, fuck Elisif money. I can't afford a house in solitude in this goddamn economy. Okay. Hi. Torbjorn. Torbjorn Overwatch, where are you? Torbjorn Overwatch, I need to see you. I need to talk to you. It's very urgent. I will break into your house. I will literally break into your... Actually, no, he's gonna yell at me. There's a guard right there. Can I just loiter by your house for 6 hours? I really need to talk to you, bro. I really need to talk to you. Really need to talk to you. Okay. Hello? Torbjorn. 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 Come here, Busty.
Best you're not planning any trouble.
I am not planning any trouble. I think. Where is he? Hey, big boy. Hey, buddy. Why? Sophia's naked again. God damn it. Hey, buddy, pal, friend. Buddy? We'll get her clothes later. What's up?
Poor Nilsine has been wrecked since her sister was killed.
Damn, that's crazy. Take this amulet.
I hope RK grants my wife some comfort. Thank you. Here, I always pay my debts.
Yay! 600 gold. Wait, what? Wait! We never get male sex opportunities! Oh my god! Sex with men! Sex with men! Sex with men! Sex with men! Alright, let's fucking go. Let's fucking go! Okay, let me do this. Da, 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 da. Oh, this is gonna be our 20th wench. Let's go! Okay, what does it say? I know your wife is grieving, but I'd like to learn two-handed from you. Intimately.
Okay, you talk me into it.
Sex with men! Sex with men! Is it gonna queue? Put me in the scene. Put me in the scene.
My favorite drinking buddy. Let's get some mead.
Why is it not queuing the scene?
It's all in the swing. Let me show
No,
you.
I don't.
How can I argue with that?
There it goes. There it goes. Yes! Yes! Oh, which furniture do I want to use? Shelf! Fuck it! Let's go. Wait, who's on the receiving end? Who's topping? Hello? Oh, okay. I can't really tell, but I think I topped him. But you know what that means? You know what that means? Dun 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 dun. Where the fuck's the thing? 20 wenches! Let's go! Ysolda may not have been... Oh shit, you can see tits on the screen. Ysolda may not have been... Hi, Kivia, welcome. I just railed a guy on a shelf. Can we get you some clothes back on? Can you?
I'm all ears.
Can
Well,
you
not
put
literally,
some
of course.
clothes back on? Let's
If you say so.
let's give you literally anything. Literally fucking anything.
Yes.
And Misty's
let's
belly.
go.
God damn it! That I'm gonna show you for like 2 seconds. What is that? That's not. No. Okay.
What's on your mind?
Do I have any other clothes things?
I hope that wasn't valuable.
Let's just take that.
You should have seen your face.
Give the iron armor back. Sophia, did Sophia join in? No, she probably just watched like a freak.
All right,
Like, well, there's nothing wrong with watching if you want. I mean, we do have a cuck chair placed conveniently right here. But, yeah, I don't know what was going on with that, but she's clothed now. Thank God. But Sophia, as a feature, not a bug, as a feature, will just randomly take her clothes off if she's feeling silly, and that's what she did, I guess. Okay. Please, Lord, get everyone to hold my hand. Sit and pray. We're holding hands. Dear Heavenly Father, please let me trigger the right dialogue to have the quest to get with Ysolda. Amen. Thank you. Okay, let's just give that let's give that a try. All right, back to Dragon or to Whiterun. I am feeling like, hello sharks. I am asking for sex with Ysolda in exchange for 2% of my company. Would anyone like to make a deal with me? Okay, where is she? Temper and Iron Dagger. Yeah, let's do that real quick just to get that out of our fucking queue. Okay. Tempering daggers, tempering daggers, tempering daggers. Yay! And let's, actually, is there anything else I can make that's, like, better? Because there's a lot of weapons I just don't need, deadass. Can I smelt some stuff down? Here, I need to be in the smelter to smelt stuff, actually. Hold on. That makes sense, doesn't it? Okay, let's do some smelting. Okay, I don't want to get rid of my pickaxe, but, okay, maybe not. Can I craft anything cool, though? Let me see. Animal collar would be cool. And an animal pack. That would actually be really convenient for our new dog. Let's see. What about, 13 damage. I think most of our swords are like 19, like 11 to 19 right now. Eastern Iron Mace would be good, but I think he's a sword guy. We gotta stick with the swords. Well, we also, actually, no, I think we have axes. Have we made a choice for, like, what, thing we're doing with one-handed? Let me see. One-handed. 2 more damage. I thought that said Clash of Clans, but it is swords. Okay, so we need to make more swords. So let's do Cyrodiilic Iron Sword, Eastern Iron Sword. That one's a little bit better. And I think we still have one that's a little bit higher, so we'll do that one. And let's mark those as our favorite. So what are our 2 highest weapons? Not the War Axe, right? Because we're not going to do damage with it because it's not a sword. Eastern Iron Sword. And then let's make another sword. Just because we do need... Do I have leather? I have something I can make into leather, because to make another one of those, I do need more leather. So let me do that real quick. Yeah. Do that. Perfect. Okay. And then now, we should be able to make another one. So give me... Wait, are we out of iron? How the fuck am I out of iron? Shit, okay. I may not be able to make anything else because... We don't want... We do need money. Let's, oh, Kimi, thank you for the hydrate. Let's make some jewelry to get some XP. And then maybe, just maybe, we can sell some of this shit. And we can increase our smithing, and then we'll get better at... We might get to bigger things there. But I think that should be... Oh, I need leather strips. That's what I was like. There's no fucking way I'm out of iron with how often my hoes are giving me iron ingots as a gift. Because they like to do that sometimes, I guess. Okay. Alright, let's go try this again. I don't do smithing a whole lot usually. This is the first time in a while where I've done a smithing-based character. So we need swords specifically. We're not going to do damage. We're not going to do jack shit. Fuck damage with anything else. Here we go. Iron sword. Okay. We, you know, we have a bunch of shit. Let's just make some weapons, you know? Like, we need to get our skill up anyway, and we need to make money so we can fuck Elsif, so, like, fuck it. Cool. Alright, that's some extra weapons we can sell. Let's go to Adrian and get some coin.
There you are.
Alright, I've sharpened the iron dagger.
This looks good.
Shields and jewelry are best for smithing because you get skill based on the value of items you make. Nice, okay.
Keep helping? How about you make some armor?
Alright, I'll make some armor.
Some leather on the rack.
Let's see. Here, I'm just gonna do, what do you have for sale for now?
Blades,
Because I don't want to do the
helmets,
full
pretty
tutorial
much
right now,
anything to suit
honestly.
your
But like,
needs.
war axe, this can go. Battle axe can go. These can go because I don't have a fucking crossbow. These I need. I don't need that. I think we need the fishing rod. I don't think we can let the fishing rod go, honestly. Okay. Bow we'll keep. Iron dagger we don't need. Iron war axe we honestly don't need. This can go. This can go. Because we're doing swords. Not whatever the fuck. And that all can go. What about armor? This can go. This can go. Oh wait, I'm buying shit. God damn it. Okay, fuck. I'm an idiot. That's fine. Okay, this can all go. So that was a net loss, but that's okay. Yeah, what if I need to fish real quick? We gotta be considerate, okay? That was a net loss.
I wish I could be there with you.
But that's okay. Let's just craft some leather real quick. Like nothing happened. I need to pay more attention.
It's always good to see someone
Okay,
like you
here's the
help.
leather.
Ah, good. A lot of weapons.
Craft the
Let's see if
hide
we can
helmet.
Make a hide
Great,
helmet.
I can do that.
Here's
I
the
can
rest of
definitely
what
do
we
that.
need.
Hide helmet. We're just gonna do this tutorial real quick, then we'll get back into business. Okay, hide helmet. Perfect. Okay, we should be able to level up soon. All right, here we go.
You're someone who can get things done.
Here's your hide helmet.
I should hide. Let's improve the fit.
Okay,
Take this
to the
leather
workbench.
workbench.
Go away! It's my turn. Thank you. Okay, hide helmet. Improve that. Bam, 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 bam. Okay, there we go. All right, check this shit out. This is the best hide helmet you've ever seen in your life. There's no hide helmet like it.
Friend,
Okay, hi. I did it.
you have. Why don't you keep that dagger?
No, I don't want to keep it. You can have
Looking
it.
to protect
You can
yourself.
have it. You can literally
deal
have it.
some
I don't
damage?
care. I don't care about it. I don't even need the shield. Okay? I don't need it. Okay? Okay. All right. We got that done.
I wish I could be out there with you.
Oh. Did she just give me a little kiss? Wait, that's kind of cute actually. I fuck with that. I fuck with that highly. Yvette's so pretty. Okay. Stay focused. All right. Ysolda. Honey, I'm home. Is Ysolda in Dragon's Reach? Where the fuck is she? Well, we're bound to find her eventually. Okay, maybe we'll turn in this bounty and then she'll be there. Okay, that's fine. It's fine. It's fine. Everything's fine. Okay. Ysolda. Here, let's oh, we need to. That's what it is. Here, we need to do this. There we go. Where is she? Ysolda. Ysolda. Come here. Come here. Please, God. Please let this have worked. Please let me get the dialogue option. Barreling. Okay.
Once I've made enough money trading with the Khajiit caravan,
We did it! Okay! Let's fucking go! Okay, we did it! We figured it out! We used our brain cell!
I told them that one day, I'd become the best trader in Skyrim. I met one of the caravan leaders, Madron. He said he'd help me get started if I could bring him a
Well, have I got news for you, sweetheart. I can help you with that. Here's your Mammoth Tusk.
Thank you. This should turn that old cat's glaze.
Don't call me the Rizzler for nothing,
Maybe I'll
Jet.
be able to become a caravaneer myself one day.
I believe
As
in you.
promised, let me show you a thing or two about bargaining. Don't want some shifty merchant giving you a raw trade.
I don't know what a raw trade means. You said, you like Mikael, huh?
There's some company I certainly prefer over others. Someone special. Someone who loves me dearly. I wish he were here now.
He sucked my
You
dick
also
in
deal
the
with
in the
Khajiit
tavern.
at all?
It was very mid in terms of head. The caravans? Sure, occasionally.
Well, goodbye. And if you happen to see me, Kyle, tell him I was asking about him.
Sure, I will do that, I guess. I'm gonna tell Mikael that he's a rat bastard and that Ysolda personally told me to tell her that. Okay, let's go. Here, let's turn this bounty in real quick just so I can get this head out of my inventory. I don't think carrying around a head is a good idea. Can we level up yet? There we go. All right, some more stamina. And then let's actually go to smithing. I want to make better armor. You can create steel bone. Perfect. Awesome. Okay. Oh wait, is bone mold? Does that mean? Wait, who does? Wait, who was that? She looks familiar. Who are you? Oh, it's a hire bodyguard.
What might you need?
Wait, why does she look kind of like Rasha? Did you see her war paint? She kind of looked like Rasha.
Oh, is there something
So no
wrong
head.
with
Okay, let's go in. We also haven't given Sophia any alcohol lately, so maybe we should do that. We haven't fed her. And by feed her, I mean give her alcohol, because that's what she wants. That's what she's fed with, okay? Jesus Christ. All right. Hello. I do think the kids' like little mini Jarl fits are the cutest shit ever. It's so stupid looking, but they're so suave.
I serve Jarl Balgruff.
Hello. Bandit is dead.
Excellent. You've done us a great service. Here is your reward.
Thanks, man. All right, 500 gold. All right, we are at 1,500. All right, we just need 35,000 left. Here, let me go, bro. Leave. Okay. Oh, right.
My eyelashes.
You do not
I'm
get.
all ears.
I had to put the mask on her so
Literally,
she
of
couldn't
course.
seduce me into giving her money. Okay. I have something for you. Where's the? Here you go.
Okay, but don't push your luck.
Oh wait, maybe it's like a gift or something. Actually, I have something for you. Here we go. That's what it is.
That's very thoughtful of you.
Because we need to get her relationship meter up. She has a whole ass relationship meter. So getting her is going to be a experience. All right, have a nail. You've earned it. There you go,
Has
bestie.
someone told you what I'm like when I'm drunk or something?
You literally did. You've
Oh, I
done
love
it
it,
several
Chad.
times.
Especially when you listen.
Oh, she's so sweet. Show relationship stats. Relationship level 40. Okay, we're getting there.
Let's do something more
I think we need to get her to 100 to smash. So we're almost halfway there. Living on a prayer. We're getting there. But I am just happy we made it to 20 wenches. I do also need to check on, because I'm worried I fucked up the Camilla Valerius one. Because I am concerned that because I solved that quest before I did Golden Claw, it locked me out of it. 100 wenches next. God, I hope so. One day. But like, I don't know. I'll have to double check. I might look on Reddit. Depends on how long I feel like streaming. If we take another break and I keep going, then I'll look it up. But if we end, we might save it for next time. I don't know. I'm feeling pretty good right now, though. I'm having a lot of fun, and I hope you guys are too. Let's take a look.
Welcome. Let me know if you want anything.
Cool.
I got a clean mug around here somewhere.
All right, hey bro, hey broski,
What are you doing that for?
hey broski.
If it's a lady you're looking for, you best look elsewhere.
I did
Once
make
we
that
try
guy
this,
suck my dick.
got-
It is that guy. Mikhail, I'd like to speak to you about Ysolda.
Oh, no, thank you. I'd rather not tangle with her right now.
Wait, what's the tea? I understand you have a relationship with her.
I admit, I was not expecting to hear that.
Oh, that worked? Oh, shit. I'm hoping you can tell me a little bit more about Ysolda.
Sure. What can I do for you?
Word is that you and Ysolda might be a romantic item. I hear she likes you.
Oh, don't believe those rumors, my friend. That doesn't begin to describe it.
Oh.
She's a friend.
So you two are just friends. Nothing else.
Oh, were you after her yourself? Huh, she's all yours.
Oh, fuck yeah, I
Won't stand
bet.
in your way, my friend. You have my word.
Cool. Can you suck my dick again? Did you write the Gentleman's Guide to Right One? White Run?
Yes, you do raise a good point. I have a
Welcome
decent
back,
mind
Blacksmith.
for women. It's what I was meant to do.
It's what I was meant to do. Smash puss. I respect that. Strange that an available beauty like Ysolda is not mentioned in your book.
Yes.
Oh yeah, he literally wrote the book that was just like, here's the hot bitches in Whiterun.
Complications.
Take note. Oh, well, do tell.
She's one crazy Nord lass. She may not look like she is, but I can tell.
Oh yeah?
She mixes with all sorts of nasty people.
Oh. Is he just being racist because she hangs out with the Khajiit? Is that it? Ysolda asked for a mammoth tusk. Do you know why she would want one?
The tusk of a mammoth. Wait. I think she's going to use it. Yield to it. I hope it brings her comfort.
Are you suggesting she's going to pleasure herself with a mammoth tusk?
I know that it would be difficult for her, at least for a time. But if she'd just take it nice and slow, she can handle it.
How do you propose a woman would even fit a mammoth tusk between her legs? Go on. Go on.
I understand what women do, but I
Side
don't
eye?
always understand how they do it. I heard it was messy. I think I'm going to be sick.
Yeah, she is just like, what is bro talking about? Bombastic side eye. Isn't that super unhygienic? Ivory is porous, right? I think it is. Yeast infection speed run any percent. All right, who are these nasty people that Ysolda associates with?
She seems rather sympathetic to the Khajiit. They're shunned by most.
Yeah, okay, I think he's just racist.
Most Nords want nothing to do with it. No offense, of course.
Okay, yeah, he said no offense, so it's okay. Clearly, if you just say no offense, then it's fine, right? And that makes everything okay if you just say no offense. I'm joking. By the way, I'm joking, but whew, okay, that was certainly a conversation we had in game.
Bring to our youth.
Yeah, let's just sing that one out. Great. Great. Okay, that was, he just said all that and then went for it. Just started singing. What a guy. What an absolute mad lad. Okay, how do we get out of here again? Here we go. Wait, is he in here? Yeah, he should be in the, oh no, I think we could just leave out here. Oh, Misty Sky's tits are out again. Okay, great. I don't know why her boobs are out again. Everyone's boobs just keep popping out and it's kind of, still out. Hi! I'm sorry. Oh shit, it gets itself back! Hi! Welcome in! Shirley, thank you so much for the raid. I'm sorry you came in at a time where I was looking at boobs. If a mod could shout out Shirley, I would really appreciate it. How was your stream? What did you play? For the newcomers here, hello, good evening. My name is EB Games. I like Skyrim and I like tits. And that's about all there is to it. Pretty much. You're playing Kingdom Hearts. Ooh, I need to get, see, I'm a gamer and I'm a Disney adult. I don't know why the fuck I never got into Kingdom Hearts, but I really want to give it a try, especially now that it's like coming to PC and stuff. So which one were you playing? Was it just like the first one or was it a specific one? Boobs are good. Amen. Amen. We are currently doing amorous adventures. Hi Jester. We're doing, hopefully, to bang Ysolda. That is our quest, and it's been, well, there was a lot of Mammoth Tusk jokes made, and, you know, I think that's only natural, but, like, Mikael just kept going, and now we're going to cause problems on purpose. Apparently we need to talk to the Khajiit and get more tea on Ysolda. God damn it, wizard. Thank you for the word ban, but welcome in, gamers! Like, y'all know nationwide insurance covers strangulation. Oh, damn, that's crazy. Been watching you on TikTok forever. Oh, thank you, Shirley. That's really sweet of you. I haven't been posting there as much as I'd like to, just because I've been so busy with, like, work and stuff. But I've started, I can't say anymore. Ooh. I've started posting there a little bit more frequently, and I hope I can get back on my bullshit. But thank you so much for the support. I really appreciate it. Kingdom Hearts doesn't have that much in the booba department. That's okay. I feel like a lot of people are genuinely, like, because my bit is just being, like, Skyrim mod sex lady. Well, okay, maybe I should rephrase that. I feel like my bit is just being like horny lewd humor. I feel like sometimes people are kind of shocked when I'm like, no, I really like Disney and I love going to Disney World and I like wholesome games. It's like I don't know, you know. I feel like I'd fuck with Kingdom Hearts. Good advertisement when a raid gets. Listen, the boobs just come out. I didn't make her boobs come out that time. I just turned around and bam! There was tits. Like, what am I supposed to do? Alright, where is this person that I need to go talk to for Ysolda? Sika? Okay, they're all the way over here. God damn. Is there anything else I need to do in Solitude? I don't think so. Kingdom Hearts is definitely one of my favorites. Yeah, I need to try it out. I lately have been playing, as like my chill game. I've been playing Disney's Dreamlight Valley lately, which is like it's like Animal Crossing, but with Disney characters, and it's really cute. I like it a lot. I'm not good at decorating, but I'm trying. Okay, are your boobs away? When I look over there, young lady, your boobs better be away. Okay, good. Your nipples are out, but it's a start. It's a start. Oh, thank you, though, Shirley. Please rest well, and I hope you have a wonderful rest of your night. Thank you, gamer. All right, let's see where these Khajiit are. Are they outside of Solitude? I think they actually are. I think I know where they are. So let's go over here, and I think we should be okay. Skyrim poop sex defines it right. So I'm really excited. I'm waiting for something to be announced, but I got an opportunity for something, and it's almost painfully on brand for me. I brought it up in Discord, and I can't wait for it to be announced because I think y'all are going to genuinely laugh your asses off when it gets announced. But it's an opportunity where I have to be like, no. I don't do sex. I just do sex in Skyrim. Like, I'm not I don't think I'd brand myself as a lewd tuber because I don't do, like, technically lewd content. Like, I don't do, like, ASMR or, like, NSFW. Well, oh, shit. Okay. Wait, where am I? Here, let me get my swords out. I don't do, like, that kind of content, but it is still NSFW, I guess. You know? It is, something. So it's like I have to, like, clarify that because I'm afraid, I don't want people to think just, like, oh, she is... You know, which is like nothing, no hate to people that do that. I think that's great. Get your back. But it's not me, you know what I mean? But it's gonna be really funny. I'm gonna be honest. Okay, where the fuck are we going? I got lost. Here we go. Alright, 20 meters ahead. We're so close. Oh, right here. Yeah. Okay. Hey.
I welcome you, friend. How may I serve you?
I've come to discuss Ysolda of Whiterun with you. Oh, I'm sorry you're out of you don't have your computer anymore, Jester. That's lame. I hope you can get fixed. She has a dress at the blacksmith's area in Solitude. Oh, we'll have to check that out then. We might be able to grab that since we're here. I think she may be in love with one of the Khajiit in the caravans.
It is Madran who she loves. Oh, yes. And why would you be looking for me? I am not sure I appreciate your presence here, friend.
I come first to ask if Madran does return this love Ysolda feels for him.
An astute question. In truth, I do not, for I miss my home greatly.
Damn, he really was just like,
It is only memory of home that will bring a smile to this one's eyes and peace to his heart.
See, here's the thing is, I was Ysolda, and he told me, I cannot be with you, for I yearn for my homeland. That would just make me want him more. Like, he's so deep and mysterious. I have to have him. You know what I mean? So, like, am I trying to get Ysolda? Yes. Do I see where she's coming from? Yes. Oh, I'm sorry you're sick, blacksmith. That sucks. So, should Ysolda's heart also be free to find peace and home as well?
I had not.
Oh wait, never mind. Is he doing the I won't go out with her but you can't have her bit? No, that's a lame bit. Was it your plan for her to be alone pleasuring herself with a mammoth tusk? Damn.
No. That was not supposed to happen.
I see. Okay. Well, do you even care enough about her to free her from this ruse of your love?
I wish I could say that I did not, but I have little choice. Besides, who would ever want to harm such beauty?
Then I come to bargain. Only your aid can turn Ysolda's heart to a new home.
Indeed.
That's some live, laugh, love bullshit.
I hope you'll agree that these dark deeds are best left forgotten.
God damn it! The word bans, the word I has been banned. I'm so close to turning off that redeem. I'm this close. I'm is still okay. It's a derivative. Okay. Is derivative the right word? Who knows?
Fortune smiles upon this meeting. The wise trader finds the best opportunities.
Okay.
And she's a ripe opportunity.
But it's my favorite one. No. But Ebi can never stick with it. Ebi is bad. No!
Then I will show you.
No! Okay. Now Ebi has to speak in third person. And it's gonna be cringe. It's gonna be stupid. But it's your fault. Okay? Remember that. It's your fault. A black errand in exchange for the keys to a young woman's heart. And it doesn't count if EB is reading dialogue.
Deal we can make. It is all in this note. May you walk on warm sands.
Thanks, man. Okay. Letter from Ulag to Madran about Ysolda. Oh, let's read this letter. Give me the tea. Give EB the tea. Okay. Madran. It doesn't count. I'm reading a thing. I'm reading a thing. Y'all really just don't want me to have fun tonight, do you? I can't even say the word wench. Okay, we're just gonna go to the next step and we're just gonna call everyone bitches. Okay, we're just elevating it. Okay, advanced misogyny. Okay, all right. So it's a joke. EB is joking. EB loves women. EB is not a misogynic. EB is women. Don't do what EB does in game. It's satire. It's a joke. Okay. EB needs a redeem that makes you do a Bob Ross impression. I don't know if I could even do a Bob Ross impression. I can't even say my own name now? Well, how do I address myself? I just use, I'm just not talking. You're getting, EB's, no more speaking. No more speaking. You've lost your EB speaking privileges.
You need to refer to yourself in the second person, just this one.
What the fuck is the second person?
Where you refer to yourself as though an object, so it's just this individual.
You mean I have to objectify myself? I have to do what I've been doing to the Skyrim women the whole time?
Yeah, that's right.
Oh, this is fucked up.
Taste your own medicine. Karma.
Shut up, Dave! EB is now called E. Wait, where's the fucking... Hold on. Where's the... I have to do something real quick. Or they have to do something. It has to do something real quick. Where is it? That's all. Okay. That's it. EB is now called E. Okay. Robert, let's set some boundaries. Okay, boundaries. If I'm reading it, it doesn't count. But if EB says it organically, then it counts. If it's read, it doesn't count. Okay? Because EB doesn't know, or fuck, E does not know how E is going to stream. That. The game just forced me to alt tab. Look what you did. Look what you fucking did. Okay. Madron, I already have a business deal in place with your thrall. Wait, your thrall? Oh. Ysolda. I don't know what the game is between you two, but it's my neck on the line. I'll get your cut, but after this, I'm done with the both of you. It's just too goddamn complicated, and I like to keep it simple. There's not much tea there. E was kind of hoping it was gonna be a bit juicier than that. E was really hoping it would be juicier, but that was kind of mid. But all right, well. What's next on the agenda? I know there was a dress for Misty Sky in Solid, or E knows there was an Ebe. I'll say Ebe. Some people call me Ebe. Okay, we'll go Ebe. All right. Ebe was told there was a dress in Solitude for Misty Sky, and Lord only knows Misty Sky needs more clothes because she just keeps taking them off. So let's see if we can find Misty Sky some more clothes, because Curl is just struggling. Okay? God damn it!
I've got a little work if you're interested, traveler.
Why are the boobs out again? Oh my god. Stop. Stop taking your tits out. I'm...
What is it?
Don't put them right in the face. Okay.
Well, okay. But
Don't
only because
look.
it's you.
Just don't look. Just don't look. Don't look. Okay, you want some here, take these. There you go. I don't think I ever put my armor back on. There you go. All nice and cozy?
Let's not hang around then.
Now I'm naked. Wait! Pee-pee back! Do you guys remember when it broke and there was no pee-pee? It was just void?
I mean your targets.
Pee-pee back! Yay! Pee-pee! Yippee! Ball physics! Okay, let's go. Let's fucking go. The very convenient cape sensor. Okay, let me put my cowboy armor back on, because that's important to me. Also, I can't wear a backpack and wear my cowboy outfit or my cowboy hat, and I think that's so stupid. But Misty, we have your fit now.
They say the biggest breasts aren't usually the most sensitive. But
Sure they are.
I guess I'm just lucky.
Just
Thanks
come
to
into.
Bella.
Hi, Mighty Goose. Welcome to the stream. We have a saying around here that no, there's no good time to come into my stream. Like, it's just all fuckery. But the mods took away my penis and then the mods put it back. So yippee, we're celebrating. Big iron on his hip. All right, let's put your nipples away because I think we can I think you're a little chilly. You look a little chilly. So let's give you, what is it? She got the Misty's Imperial dress and her loincloth. Why don't you, oh, you don't want to wear that? Oh, okay. I'm tired of you wearing the same outfit every day. I'm tired of your nipples fucking showing.
Oh, all right. If it's so important to you, I'll take it off.
No, God damn it! Okay. Misty! God, now I gotta cover my whole... I gotta censor everything with my hat. You see these eyes? They're filled with rage. Okay. Deep breaths. Take a sip. Take a sip. This is going well. Yeah, it's fine. If a VTuber is at least a little sus, are they even a VTuber? Amen. Amen to that. I have hydrated. Okay, Misty? Misty, I swear to God, I'm gonna beat your ass. But you would probably like that, you sick fuck. She'd probably be like, in her stupid little... God, she doesn't even have underwear on. Her coochie's just out. You cannot be pussy out in the Nord cold.
Young man. Don't be a stranger.
Did I fuck her already? I can't remember. I don't think I fucked her yet. Is she on the wench counter? Does anyone remember? Never thought I would see fat titties on stream today. See, that's the bit. Okay, some VTubers have fat titties, right? And that's great. That's fantastic, right? Over here, I don't have fat titties. My outfit looks like I'm about to go see old Jebediah to go buy some pickles at the Amish market, right? But, like, at this stream, we enjoy the wenches. Together. We cherish them. Together, right? Wenches don't get cold. You know what? I'm into that too. This has been a very religious stream, almost biblical, in how pissed off Eve has been. Okay. You handle the blade well. I didn't figure you for a fighter. Yeah, I don't think we fucked her.
Well,
can we add her to the wench counter? I think we need to add her to the wench counter.
Traveling can be dangerous, especially if you're a woman. I could die in so many ways. It's not always easy being a pretty girl.
You know what? Fair enough. There was no dialogue after that. She just ended with that. Okay. Well, it might be... There's literally a dialogue option that says it might be time to cover your nipples.
You're probably right.
You look freezing. Okay, there we go. Her nipples are covered, but her coochie's still out. Can we, Wait, how about a demonstration of your talents? That's the dialogue. Eve is not bullshitting. That's the dialogue.
Here, take a look at my breasts.
Oh, wait, I can train my one-handed with her. Is it just gonna play the jacking off animation if I press yes?
Keep girl boss.
Sensuous Heart, thank you so much for the follow. I'm getting an exotic dance. I'm about to beat my fucking meat. Welcome to the stream. Does that do anything? Oh, there she goes. Okay. Okay, we really need to put your titties away. We really need to do something.
Do you have anything erotic?
I have a cowboy hat. Can we put her in the cowboy hat? No, she doesn't deserve the cowboy hat. She doesn't deserve the cowboy hat. Where have you been all my life? Hi, my name's ZB Games. I'm a VTuber, and I like Skyrim and boobies. And I'm here for you. And we can enjoy boobies together. Knowing the modding community, yes. I mean, yeah. Okay, where's the little dress for her? Do we give her dress? Yeah, she has Misty's Imperial dress. Okay, let's take away the boob strap so that way she can't wear it. And let's take away the Forsworn armor. There we go. Okay.
Lead on.
She is clothed. She is still dying of frostbite, but she's clothed. Okay, that's gotta count for something. Okay, that's gotta count for something. What the fuck were we doing? Like, genuinely, what the fuck were we doing? She probably would want assless chaps. No, you're right. See, she's gonna fucking die. For how long is she clothed? We'll find out. I wish my model could, like, shrug her shoulders, but we'll find out. Okay. Deep breath. Drink some water. Assless traps. Oh, damn. You know what? I think either or, honestly. Okay, get the merchandise from Madron. So we need to do that to get Ysolda to like us. Okay, let's go on a little adventure. Let's go to Felberg, and then this is where we're going. We need to acquire some material goods to get the goods, apparently is what we need to do. I prefer my traps painted with ass. God damn it. God damn it. Man. God, why are you guys naked? Oh my god. Okay.
It's been my honor to serve you, Thane.
Yeah, thank you, Lydia. Thank you for being normal. Eve is so glad you're normal. Eve is so grateful you're fucking normal. Eve does not care because they banned the word I. Eve does not care if you're a basic normie ass bitch. Eve is just glad. They're all suffering like, why? Why? I want to get her relation level up because, what's her face? The Sophia has a relationship meter, so we can't smash until, wait, what? Misty's sturdy boob strap removed. Did you put your clothes back on? Nope. Okay. They're gonna get me banned off Twitch. I gotta, who the fuck are you? Literally, who the fuck are you? Car the Silver Sentinel? I don't know who you are. I don't know who you are, and I don't care, okay? Yeah, we have a word ban redeem. And the words, and again, this counts because I'm quoting, I'm, and my own goddamn name were all banned. So, Ebe is speaking in the third person. And Ebe said it's gonna be cringy, but here we are. Here we fucking are. Okay. So, which Sophia? It's, well, I'd show you, but...
Come on.
Oh, look at him go. Look at him go. The one that's an alcoholic, if that helps. And I'd do it again! Fair enough, fair enough. Okay, I don't want to just dismiss them, and I can't dismiss Sophia. I want her relationship level up, but... I remember... Eve remembers now why she hates Misty Sky. Right? Eve loves fat tits. I love big, massive tits. Eve loves whores. You know? I'm a big fan of whores. Keep up the good work. Fight the good fight. Right? But, like, I just wish, or Eve just wishes, yes, that one. Eve just wishes that they would keep their clothes on just a little bit more often so Eve could stay monetized on YouTube. I like my YouTube monetization. And I don't know if this is educational anymore. I'm trying really hard. Like, how often do we have to talk about where the areola is to make that work, you know? But it's hard. I'm a fan of the plot. I love the plot. I just love big, in-depth, rich plots in my face. Jiggly, fat plots. Can't get, I don't know, man. Eve's just gonna be real with you. My life, I think, you know, sometimes you just need a titty to suck. You know? And, like, maybe that's just a me thing, but, like, sometimes you just need a titty to suck. Wait, what are you talking about?
Imagine a dragonborn woman shouting at her husband? That would really give him something to complain about.
Thank you, Sophia, for your input. I appreciate it. I prefer smaller, medium-sized plot. You know what? And that's okay. Everyone likes different kinds of stories, you know? That's fine, right? Some people like small plot. Some people like big plot. Some people like no plot. Some people like big mommy milker plot. You know, it's all in the eye of the beholder, right? It's all just, you know, whatever makes you happy. Yeah, Sophia's really funny. I just need her to keep her fucking clothes on. That's literally all Eve needs, is to keep the clothes on. You know, I'm a fan of plots of any size. Honestly, yeah. You know, if I'm handed a plot, then I'm not gonna be mad about it. You know? I'm not gonna, can Eve be really TMI for a second? So if you're new here, one of chat's favorite characters on the stream is my boyfriend David. And they're actually, one of the memes for a while was that David is more entertaining than me. And everyone wanted David. No one wanted to loot EB. When we did a subathon, I said, oh, we could do NSFW EB art. Oh, motherfucker!
Touches the beacon.
Now that's how it's done.
Listen, hear me and obey. A foul darkness has seeped into my temple. A darkness that you will destroy. Return my beacon to Mount Kilcreath, and I will make you the instrument of my cleansing light.
So, I think I'm gonna kill myself in my as if today could not get any worse. Okay, apparently there's an MCM setting. Let's take a look at that. But anyway, one of the reoccurring characters on stream is my boyfriend Dave. And when we did a donathon last time, it was like I think almost 2 years ago now. We didn't get to do one last year, but we will be doing one for my birthday, which I'm really excited for. I'll be debuting my new Skyrim model. And my model, for the new gamers in town, I'm balling on a budget when it comes to being a VTuber, so I don't have any fucking legs. Eve does not have any fucking legs. But we're getting there. The new model is gonna have thighs. Okay, so we're getting there, right? But anyway, when we did our last donathon, one of the goals was EB-NSFW art, and there was a good 30 people that asked me, what about Dave NSFW art? But like, Dave's my boyfriend. I love him very dearly. We've been dating for like almost 10 years now, right? But anyway, David is a man, assigned male at birth. He does not have mommy milkers, okay? I love how you say characters like he isn't an actual IRL person. Dave, are you real?
I am an illusion.
Okay, yeah, he's real. But like, Dave doesn't have mommy milkers.
I'm sorry.
But I still want to suck his tit.
No.
He won't let me. Like, I know that's really TMI, but like, apparently, like, subconsciously, when I'm sleeping, I try to get David to like breastfeed me, and he'll just be like, what the fuck are you doing? And I'm just like, apparently, and he's just like, can you not? And it's like, I don't know. Like, I don't care what your gender is. I'll suck your titties regardless. Like, what was that, David?
There was also that time you were dancing in your sleep.
Oh yeah, apparently I twerk in my sleep. And Dave did not enjoy it because apparently I almost bumped him out of bed with the sheer power of my ass. You aren't real. No, I get that a lot. Well, no, we're gonna find out next Wednesday. Next Wednesday is my new model debut. My 4D model debut. So I'm going to Offkai Expo next week, and I'm gonna be cosplaying myself in real life. So I'm calling the show of my cosplay on stream of myself my 4D debut, my hyper realistic model. You're a very chaotic gremlin of chaos. Thank you. That's exactly what I'm going for. So I'm glad it's working out. Okay, what the fuck are we doing? I got off track. Okay, that's what I want to do. MCM. Okay, we really like genuinely. I don't want to get bit. Oh, cats. No. Okay. We need to. What is it? There's one for Sophia. I don't know if there's one for what's her face. Don't look at these. You remind me of one of my best friends, how chaotic and unhinged you are. Thank you. I'll have to show her your content. There's been a lot of people where they'll be like, I found you through a friend. And actually two of my mods, Jingle and Aqua showed Jingle my content because he was like, oh, she reminds me of you. And they've been watching my content for a while, and they're my mods now, and now they're getting married, and I got invited to their wedding, and I thought that was so cool. But I am still slightly concerned. Oh yeah, how do you know the couple? I'm an anime girl on the internet that they happen to enjoy. Like, but that's the thing. Like, if you invite me to your wedding, I'll be there.
Gaslight,
you know, if you want me to come up with a backstory, I can do it. You know, thank you so much for the follow. You know, Gaslight can keep girl boss. I'm glad you're enjoying the stream. Like, but for real, I'll make up a backstory. Or if you want me to just show up and be like, yeah, I'm an anime girl on the internet, and they think I'm funny, like, I'll do it. You know, okay. Is essential. Yes. Catch up distance 3,000 units. I'm not seeing any stats about putting her clothes on. I'm just seeing I'm not seeing a whole lot about, you know, Okay, you know what? Here's what we're gonna do. I think she's choosing to wear the clothes that are kind of slutty, so we're just gonna take away the kind of slutty clothes and force her to become a nun. I think that'll be fine. I think nunification, you know, nunification. I think that's fine. So, fun fact, I just opened Discord to alt tab to check something because I saw a little ping there, and I have ADHD, so if I don't check a ping immediately, I will go insane. And, for those who don't know, I'm a singing teacher in real life, and I quit my public school job to teach VTubers how to sing for a living. And I've been running a business since 2020 where I teach VTubers how to sing, and I do it full time. And so I know a lot of VTubers, right? And one of my students, so they know I stream, they know what I'm about, and I know what they're about, you know, so I can kind of be myself a little bit more when I'm teaching, which is great. But one of my students, Kina, just texted me, and she said, I was about to rage you, then saw naked women on stream and just started laughing so fucking hard. I'm sorry, there was some issues with mods. The breasts are breasting too boobily. I can't stop it. I can't. Okay. We're gonna get this under control. Yeah, have the fucking marks safe from the boobling breastily of 2024. Okay. Oh my god, there's a mammoth! Why did you guys aggro a mammoth? Why did you guys aggro? What? They aggroed two mammoths! They really do not want to be... Oh my god. They really just... Oh, there's a troll now too? Or a giant? I'm not getting involved with this. Y'all made your bed, lie in it. You could have made a good choice, but you made a bad choice, and now you have to pay the consequences. I'm leaving. Fuck that. Teleport behind me, you fucking... They wanted his big trunk. Maybe they wanted more mammoth tusks. Maybe they wanted enough for everyone. Fun for the whole family. Fuck yourself with the mammoth tusk. Everyone can have a good time. It's like, actually... Why hasn't Bad Dragon gotten in on that? Like, I feel like that's a popular enough Skyrim joke, or at least it is to me, about, like, Ysolda fucking herself with a mammoth tusk. Like, why hasn't Bad Dragon gotten in on that? I have to make a Google search real quick. Hold on. I have to do some research real quick. Just hold on. Baddragon.com. Like, they gotta, right? They have Minotaur. Does that count? Oh, that's just a foot. Oh, what the fuck? That's just a foot. Oh, I don't like that. Anyway, I did research and now I regret it. Sometimes learning is not a good idea. Try Etsy. I'm making an email, but I need David's favorite cover for it. Oh, that's really sweet of you, Blacksmith. Thank you. If you send it to me, I'll absolutely add it, and I'll put the little artist cred thing so people can find your art. FBI agent must hate looking through your Google search history. Yeah. Yeah. David, what's your favorite color? It's either green or red, but I want to hear what he says.
Red.
Red. Okay. Let's see. Are we going, guys? Okay. Fair.
What's on your mind?
There we go. I need you to...
Okay, but don't push your
All right, you're no longer allowed to be a slut. I'm sorry, you've lost your slut privileges. There we go. Okay.
Gaslight,
Be
gatekeep,
normal.
girl boss.
Everything is so much for the YouTube sub. I appreciate it. Probably too hard to make a white silicone toy. It would be too hard to keep white. Yeah, it would have to be like a cream, like off-white color. But that might be kind of weird. Like I feel like if you had like a like off-white colored dildo, that could be kind of like. All right, I don't know where the fuck Misty went, but we unslutified Sophie. There she is. There's my favorite. Whatever the fuck you are.
Oh shit! I just remembered.
What is it? What'd you remember?
I left my sexy supply chest back at the inn.
Her sexy supply chest? No! What kind of sexy supplies are we talking about?
All my filthiest costumes for dancing. You would like those, I promise.
She is dancing now. Okay. You left it at an inn? Which one?
I mean the winking skeever back in Solitude.
Okay, well, you couldn't have remembered this when we were still there? Or the multiple times we went to Solitude today?
I guess I wasn't thinking about my belongings while I fled from Nightmare City Torture Prison.
Yes, Nightmare Titty Torture Prison. I know. Fair enough.
If you don't mind, let's get it when you have the time.
Ah, yes, the quest, the erotic lost luggage of Misty Sky. Okay, that's...
Did you need something?
Something to do. Hey, Misty?
What is it?
Looks like you're, kind of falling, yeah, this is actual dialogue, by the way. Looks like you're kind of falling out of your,
Oh, well, that's awkward.
Yeah, your nipple is just right there. Oh, okay. It just slides down and then she changes it. Okay. Are your boobs feeling better? Again, actual dialogue, not making this up.
To be honest, they could use a nice massage.
Wait, can I? I just got a quest to... Wait, hold on. Can I... Oh, my hat didn't go away fast enough. I literally just got a quest to touch your boobs. Does this count as a... No, we need to bed her. Okay, touching the titties doesn't count, but I'm still going to do it anyway. The dialogue is literally, please, Misty, allow me.
Oh, all right. I suppose you earned it.
Yippee!
Go for it. Just be gentle, love. I'm so sensitive there.
Is it going to play like an animation? It just says completed. I guess it increased my two-handed. Okay.
You're a strapping young man.
Anyway, let's actually de-slutify you. Okay, you're not allowed like this. Where is it? Kinky cuffs. No. Pussy protector. Okay. A side note: the pussy protector. It is literally called that, and it's just a cat wearing an iron helmet. I'm losing my fucking mind. Flirty flip-flops. What is she wearing? The kinky cuffs and the pussy protector. Why don't you... Can I make her equip this? No. Okay, let's... Why don't you wear... You know what? Let's go back to the Forsworn armor. It wasn't great, but it was better than whatever the... You know what? Actually, Misty... Steel plate armor. Go fuck yourself. You get heavy armor. You can't whip your titties out that fucking fast if they're under 30 pounds of galvanized steel, you whore. Okay. I'm gonna go get that quest, getting my wife. Yeah. Can we get a shout out in the chat for touching boobs? Big shout out to touching boobs. I'm a big fan of touching boobs. David, can I touch your boobs?
Not now.
What about later?
Not now.
In my honor of this stream, I command you, if you have a partner that has breasts, go. This is my doing good in the world. This is my positive impact. Go ask your partner to grab their boobs and ask if you can touch their boobs. And if they ask why, say an anime girl on the internet told me to grab my wife's boobs, so I did. Just trust me on that. David, can I grab your boobs?
No.
If they say no, kill yourself. I don't know. No, I'm kidding. That's a joke!
I feel like we're losing
That's a joke!
plot.
We're not losing the plot. We could have had the plot if the plot just walked over 20 feet and let me
What
at him.
universe is this room 20 feet?
I don't know how measurements work. Just let me squeeze your tits.
No.
This is so fucked up. This is so fucked up. Can't squeeze his tits. Can't squeeze his balls. What am I gonna do? He's just playing World of Warcraft.
I'm very busy.
I let my life squeeze my titties all the time. Damn right, as you should. I can't believe David's abandoned me. This is so fucked up. This is... Oh, I don't know how I'll ever financially recover from this. I don't know, you know? I wish that, like, modern media... I wish there was cleavage for balls. You know what I mean? Like, you know how there's shirts that are meant to be kind of slutty to, like, show off the boobies? I wish we treated balls the same way we treated boobies. I think that'd be funny as shit. Like, you know, like, the trend of, like, sagging pants? Let's take it a little bit further. You know what I mean? Let your balls just, like, show off a little bit just to give a little, like, something for the ladies. You know? Don't show, like, all your balls, you know? You don't want to be a slut, right? But just, like, a little bit, you know? Just to kind of, just be a little playful, you know? Like, oh, you want to get a free drink at the bar? Let me just, show you the top of my balls, my lady. Just a little side sad. Yeah, you get it, right? Okay. Hi. That was eventful.
I welcome you, friend. How may I serve you?
I've returned with your merchandise.
You have already?
Are you talking about what David Bowie Goblin King has? Let me look that up. Because I think I know what you're talking about, but I want to double check. Let me look that up. Let me see. David Bowie Goblin King. Google? Yes, exactly, but make it skimpier. I don't want it to cover the bulge. I need to see the edge. Like, it can't be fully covered. I need to see the edge. How am I supposed to edge if I can't see the edge? Like,
what the fuck is wrong with you?
David, how are you supposed to edge to another man's balls if they're fully covered? Leave it to the imagination? No, they gotta give me something to work with. I think he's disappointed in me. Anyway, but yes, exactly that. Thank you. All right, I found your man. He's dead. Killed by giants.
Well, that was an unpleasant bit of business.
Not really. Now to our deal. You will give me Ysolda in return for this drug shipment. What is this, fucking Breaking Bad? Madron, we need to cook.
Madron knows much and tells some. Madron knows many things others do not.
Okay.
If you want her, I will show you how.
Oh.
You will give my regards in this note. Through this offer, charm, and a strong will, you will be successful. Of this
His voice is kind of hot, not gonna lie. Like, I literally, why are there no, like, ASMR boyfriend audios? Why do they all do, like, the corpse husband voice? Why is there no one, like, calling me a filthy girl talking like a Khajiit in Skyrim? I think that's an untapped market. If you can do that voice, tap into that. You know, make some money.
It is difficult to admit, but things won't be
He
the
looks so
same
sad.
without her. A word of advice, my friend. She's open-minded about certain things.
I can put it in her butt.
I think we understand each other.
Yay! Perfect.
I hope you will find a warmer welcome in your travels than we have found in ours.
Okay, cool. Well, let's take a look at the letter. I want to read this letter. Like I said, wait. Why is he not wearing clothes? When did that happen? Did everyone just get their clothes taken off? Oh, okay. Anyway. Let's read this letter. I'm here for the tea. Where is it? Letter to Ysolda. Hey, no, that's the other one. Letter to Ysolda from Madron. That's what I'm looking for. Okay, cool. Ysolda, my dear, I regret our romance must end for. In truth, what was that sound effect? What do you mean? Which one? What sound effect? I regret our romance must end for. In truth, I do not love you as you deserve to be loved. I think this is best for both of us. I allowed my desire for a business associate in training to get confused with affairs of the heart. The person who delivers this note to you does feel the passion for you that I do not. I do hope that we can continue our business dealings. We may share our pleasure and profits as merchants do. Oh, okay, well, that's nice. Yeah, I'm wondering what played, unless I missed something. I mean, David farted in the background, but I don't think my mic would pick that up. It was from another video that randomly played a sound effect. Very appropriate for the mod. You know what? Fair enough. Fair enough. Okay, so let's see. Yeah, I guess we'll just go back to Ysolda and see what's up, you know? Let's take a look-see. Take a gander. Ysolda! I'm here. Your other boyfriend dumped you, so you should get with me instead, 'cause I'm great. Let's see. Ysolda, I'm wearing my special cowboy hat. You can't turn me down, 'cause I have a cowboy hat on. And that's just how that works. Can I break into your house? Well, it's not breaking in if it's open. Perfect. Okay. Let's take a look. Hello? Hey, girl.
It's a fine day with you around.
Hi. Well, I have met and spoken to Madron. He sends this letter.
What are you talking about? What's in the letter?
Take a look for yourself.
What is this? Is this what he really thinks about me?
Yep, it is true.
This isn't at all how I imagined things would play out.
Damn, that's crazy. Anyway.
I'm such a fool. How could I let him use me like that?
Yeah, fuck that guy. Oh, it was just business, Ysolda, not personal.
Yeah, you're right. These Khajiit make a living traveling the roads and selling their wares. Good traders with a good head for business, too.
Mm-hmm.
I don't
You can never mix personal and business. It's not gonna work. Your friend Ulag died getting that drug you're selling. Found him dead in a cave.
So Ulag died? That's too bad. He knew what he was getting into.
Mm-hmm. Cost of doing business. You seem to have a thing for shady characters and dangerous deals. You know, one time I robbed a ring pop from a 7-Eleven.
Before my ma and Da passed.
Yeah, she seems to not care.
I'd become the best trader in Skyrim.
Mm-hmm.
But I wish to be much more than just a merchant.
Yeah, she's kind of chill about it.
If I'm going to run an inn someday.
Okay, well, your deals are done for now. I retrieved Ulag's merchandise myself.
Did you? Thank you. I'm always glad to help a friend if I can. This coin should compensate you for all the bother.
Thank you. Save your coin. That's not what I'm after.
And this note, Madron, says you're someone I can trust. Are you the one interested in me?
Yes, I'm very interested.
I see. Well, if you're looking for company, I suppose I could do worse.
What? I wore my hat! I wore my cowboy hat!
Bad me. That's what you want,
okay,
isn't it?
hold on. Hold your horses. Okay, hold on. Wench 21.
Well, what are you waiting for? Touch it. Come on, use me like
Oh, damn, she's freaky. Okay.
Like a skeever for you.
Oh, don't say that. No, actually, I don't like that.
What? What's that supposed to mean?
Why are you talking about... Oh, no! Well, it's about the mammoth tusk. How does it fit between your legs exactly?
Wait. Oh, no. By the gods, this can't be happening. How did you know? So embarrassed.
Wait. So tell me. How do you get it in?
A little grease solves most problems, doesn't it? But I suppose you don't need to worry about that. Oh, I... Just thinking about my mammoth's tusk.
Hello.
Why don't you stay a while?
Okay. Oh, we got a little thingy here. And so Ysolda took the fair stranger. No, I think she said a little grease, which is like, what are you using for lube in Skyrim? Troll fat? Oh. And so Ysolda took the fair stranger who had pursued her to her bed and gave her love, and she felt accepted for all her strange quirks and odd obsessions. She placed her hand on the stranger's chest and smiled. Stranger no more, it felt like coming home. Yeah, all these bitches are getting yeast infections. Like, I'm sorry, I don't want to rain on her parade, you know? Everyone's getting a yeast infection. I'm sorry. Yeast infection be upon ye. Get fucked. Ugh.
Why don't you stay?
Okay, none, bed, or shelf. We did shelf last time, so we'll do bed this time. Okay, let me see how fast I can get out of this. Oh my god, okay, I am eating ass. Okay, nope. This is a Christian stream. Okay, there we go. Okay, we're out. I accidentally changed my model in the process, but yeah.
Hello, friend.
Hi. I changed my outfit or my hairstyle in the process, but That's okay. Also, is it just me, or was he like eating his like ass like groceries? Like it wasn't just like it was like damn, bro got into it. Damn, that's crazy. This is a Christian stream. What sect? Next question. You got fucked so hard your hairstyles changed. Yeah, I got railed so hard. I did an updo to cope with the aftermath. That's not how that works. Dude was slurping that thing like a slushie. Damn. Okay. That's wench counter. Alright, hell yeah, 21 wenches. Alright, well, now what? Damn, we did what we set out to do. This was a really fun stream. Thank you guys for hanging out. I think, well, let's talk to her.
Hello again.
How'd you feel about how'd you feel about my Mammoth's Tusk?
I liked that. I want more.
You know, you're kind of a fucked up girl, Ysolda, you know that?
You're probably right. I have a long way to go before I'm ready for the kind of advanced trading I've been attempting.
What's the advanced trading?
I'm not sure what I was expecting, but this isn't it. Now I just want to put the whole nasty business
Hey, you said you liked my Mammoth Tusk. What do you mean nasty? Does this mean you've turned over a new leaf?
No need to blow things out of proportion. Let's be honest. This is part of me. Brief as life can be in Skyrim, I'd rather be free to live my life as I choose.
Fair enough. I can agree to that. I also agree that we should have more.
Being friends has its advantages, huh?
Damn, okay. Well, I got friend zone, but, hey, everyone's fully clothed now. I think that's an improvement from last time. Well, damn. We got 2 wenches today. Hell yeah. Okay, so let's skedaddly do, I guess. Damn, that's... What a stream. What a fucking stream today. Damn. And the crew is slowly expanding. Where'd my dog go? I don't know where my fucking dog went. If you get friend zones that have 0.5 wenches, I still put it in. So, like, as far as I'm concerned, that counts. You know, like, as long as it goes in, it counts, you know? Okay, so, let's see. We do need to do Misty's thing. I do want to see what's going on with Camilla Valerius, but I'll have to look into that because I might have fucked that one up. So I want to see if there's a way I can unfuck it. We do need to go back to our studying at the Bard's College so we can fuck Lizette. Let's see. And we do need to go back to do some companion stuff. Because I do want to fuck all the companions too, but that just kind of got on the back burner. But we accomplished, you know, everything we set out to do today. I think we did an excellent job today. We got a lot done. We were very productive. And you know what? We increased our wench capacity. And I think that's a W. No matter how you splice it, that's a W. Well, gamers, thank you so much for hanging out with me tonight. Like I said, I had a really fun time, and Jingle just posted the link to my Discord. So if you'd like to know when I'm streaming or chat with me, please take a look at my Discord. I'm hoping we can do a Discord movie night soon. Kelly, thank you so much for the following. I guess I can keep girl boss. My YouTube is up there. All my VODs are uploaded there somehow. And I also have a Twitter. And I also, there's a link to my mod list. So if you're curious about what mods I'm using Immersive and Epic with some other stuff on top of it. So there's a link to the mod collection, and there's the whole mod list over there. And I'm also writing a book. When I'm not shit posting, I like to write. I like to write about my OCs. So if you would like to read the first 3 chapters of my fantasy novel, those are out as well. I'm still working on it, and I'm having a lot of fun writing it. I've been really busy with work lately, so I haven't been able to get to finish chapter 4 yet, but I'm hoping once things calm down after Off-Kai Expo, then I'll be able to do that. But if you're new, I stream every Wednesday, Friday, and Sunday at 6:30 p.m. EST, and we will be back on Friday where I will actually be info dumping about all my OCs. We are dedicating an entire stream to just me telling you all about my characters and being a little autistic because, yeah, because I am a lot autistic and I need to get that out of me. So gamers, let's go see who we can raid and spend the love with. But thank you, gamers, I appreciate you. Let's see who's online. Who can we spread the love to? Let me see. Who's live right now?
Gaslight,
Let's see.
gatekeep,
Check your
girl
DMs before you
boss.
end stream. Oh man, Evan, thank you so much for the follow. You're a Gaslight Geeky girl boss. I am very much oh, that's so cute. Thank you, Blacksmith. But I'm really glad you enjoyed the stream, Banhammer. That's adorable. I will absolutely add that in once I am done streaming, so we have a Hi David emote. That is so cute. Oh my gosh. Okay, well, let's see who is live right now. We'll raid. Let's raid. Oh, we'll raid Karina. So Karina is a good friend of mine. She did half of the score for Offguy Expo, and I'm so grateful for her. And she is so talented. She's playing Tabletop Simulator right now. So please go send her your love and affection. Please send her your well wishes, and I will catch you guys later on Friday. All right, bye, gamers.